All right, here we go. What's going on, everybody? Little national championship live stream. Right now, it's just myself, but Keith Mcpherson, formerly of WFAN, will be joining me a little later on. Let's see, in about 25 minutes or so. We're about 5 minutes out from the kickoff between Indiana and Miami in the college football playoff national championship, the Natty, tonight. Really looking forward to this. I've been looking forward to it all day long. Let me get a couple things figured out here. Every time I do a stream, I got to make sure to put the chat up on my other monitor because it's too small to see straight ahead. So let me pull that up right now. Right over here. And then we got the game's going to be on right under me. Here we go. Oh, the screen's a little... it's bright. Let me turn down the brightness of this one. Mute this. If I go in here, that should be all right. All right, here we go. Everything seems good to me. National championship tonight. The college football playoff has been going forever, in my opinion. I feel like tonight is the end of what took about a year to build up to. It's been so long since the end of the college football regular season. I'm kind of happy that we're finally getting to that point where after today, it's all over. It got to a point where it was too much with the transfer portal and everything like that. I still think it's a lie. I mean, the Trinidad Chambliss stuff, to me, it's like, come on, man. You're in whatever, your sixth year now. It's time to move on. Everything has to come to an end. And for Trinidad Chambliss, that means his college career. It's been too long already. He's got to call it quits. And honestly, if I'm him, the quarterback class this year is so diluted that if he does decide to enter the NFL draft, I think he would get taken higher than he will next year with Arch Manning and some of the other guys who are going to be coming out of college, with Dante Moore. What's the phone number to call? 848-305-8073. 848-305-8073. Call in live. We'll go back and forth. I mean, the call-in feature, I don't see anyone else with a call-in feature. That's all I'll say. But we got it over here at the Sports Pod. We could call in, go back and forth. If you want to talk to me eventually, when Keith comes on, you could talk to the both of us. But yeah, the call-ins have been a nice addition. I haven't gotten to utilize it too much yet, but it's so cool. It's the best part of sports radio to have the callers and the interaction between hosts and callers. It kind of humanizes the show a little bit. And so I'm really excited to be incorporating that here at the Sports Pod. But getting back to this game, who am I taking? Indiana, Miami, the 1 seed versus the 10 seed. I think it has to be Indiana. They just match up so well against Miami because Miami's rush defense and pass rush is so good, but Indiana's offensive line is even better. And of course, Fernando Mendoza is one of the best arm talents, if not the best arm talent in all of college football this season. So I think it's going to be Curt Cignetti and the Indiana Hoosiers taking it down tonight. I'm watching ESPN do their predictions right now. So far, it's 2-0 in favor of Miami, which is never a good sign for the Hurricanes. So we'll see what ends up happening in this game. But I just think Indiana's got the matchup going for them. They've got the momentum. I mean, that game against Indiana last weekend, what a win. Oregon, sorry. I mean, it was the first play from scrimmage. They took it away. It was like a pick six or whatever. And it just kept going and going and going. Indiana was so much better in every way. They did everything better. And let's see, I'm still trying to figure out. I don't use StreamYard too often. So I'm trying to figure out some of the other features that I can get at here. Is that good? Nah, the basic one is better. Yeah, there you go. Calling 848-305-8073 is the number to call in at. I'll be joined by Keith Mcpherson coming up in about half an hour. We're going to be watching the game tonight, but it's not only about the game. It's a great sports Monday. I mean, last weekend was the best weekend in the sports calendar. And today's the day where you break it all down. Sean McDermott fired by the Buffalo Bills. The Miami Dolphins making some moves. Previously, they hired Packers John Eric Sullivan to be their next general manager, and he brought over the Packers defensive coordinator, Jeff Hafley, to be the next head coach of the Miami Dolphins. I'm watching Pat McAfee, the lone wolf, taking Indiana on the ESPN panel tonight. He did the Hoosiers chant. So it's never determined with McAfee. He could have taken Miami even after doing Indiana's signature chant. Here we go, man. In the comments, let me know what you're thinking. I'm taking Miami. Not gonna agree with you that one. I think Indiana's been the best team in college football all year long, and they're gonna continue that tonight. So let's see, man. Indiana and Miami. I gave you my thoughts on it already. Now I'll give you my thoughts on Fernando Mendoza, because here's the thing with Mendoza. He's a really good college quarterback. I don't think it's going to translate into the NFL. He's surefire to be the number 1 overall pick. I think I would bet everything that he's going to Las Vegas and he'll team up with the Raiders next season. I don't know if it's going to work out. I mean, the Raiders have a history of ruining number 1 overall picks, and I think it might happen again. I just don't think Mendoza has the NFL talent to be successful in the league. I mean, he's got a nice arm, but he's not too elusive. He's benefited against a lot weaker competition this year. If you look at, let me pull up Indiana's schedule real quick. And I know he dominated Oregon last week. It was the second time Indiana dominated Oregon this season. But if you look at who Indiana played this year, they're 15-0 so far. Week 1 against Old Dominion. Week 2 against Kennesaw State. Week 3 against Indiana State. Week 5 against Iowa. Week 7 against Michigan State. Week 8 against UCLA. You play Maryland. You play Wisconsin. Like, they're just not playing good teams. Give me a minute to figure something out here. All right, we're back. Keith says, give me like 25 minutes. About time is it now? He said that about 1 minute ago. So about 25 minutes until Keith joins us. We're still fine tuning the viewing setup for tonight. Now the game is going to be over there instead of right in front of me. But we're still getting it going. The game's going to kick off shortly here. Let me just say that if a game is scheduled to start at 7:30, it should be starting at 7:30. It's so frustrating how games start at 7:50, 8 o'clock. I think the NBA is the biggest culprit of this. But it's certainly happening here. So this game is going to, Carson Beck is still in the locker room. This game's not going to start for probably another 5-10 minutes here. So we got some time before kickoff. Let me know how we're feeling out in the chat. What's on your mind tonight? That's the feature I was looking for. Get the chat going on the screen there. Let me see. Let me fine tune this. I like it this way, like that. So now we get your messages popping up on screen. I can still highlight them like I did with Keith's right there. Big day in the NFL. I mean, Sean McDermott was fired. The MLB had a big time weekend with Kyle Tucker and everything going down in that department. Well, let me know what's going on, guys. The Kyle Tucker stuff is so frustrating. And with baseball, I think it's heading for a lockout. I think it's certain at this point that after this season, we're gonna get our lockout. Because there's a problem right now, and the only way you fix the problem is by sitting down and actually fixing the problem. And the owners are gonna have to do that with the players. The problem is, though, the players will never agree to some kind of salary cap, which is what the owners are gonna want, and the only way to really fix this issue. As our viewing setup is finally working. So now I have the game. Typically when I have it on my computer in front of me, we're on a delay. So I got like a TV box in here now. Let me adjust positioning of this monitor real quick. And it'll be off to the side. Some people are very worried about the setup tonight. But now we're good. Call in 848-305-8073. And getting back to what I was saying about the baseball, because now I can actually focus now that everything is set up and ready to go. The MLB is heading to a lockout because the amount of money that the Dodgers are spending is ridiculous. And the only way they can do that is because they have access to so many other assets and just flows of money, income streams that other teams don't have access to. They have all of Japan on their side. Through Shohei Ohtani, through Roki Sasaki, through Yoshinobu Yamamoto. They have that entire nation, and all those people love the sport of baseball. It's not like it's a nation that's whatever with sports. The people out in Asia adore the sport of baseball. So that's going for them. They have an exemption with LA Sportsnet that allows them to control 100% of the revenue they make from TV money. They have the Guggenheim partners who are financing so much of their contracts. They have already made all the money back from the Shohei Ohtani deal. I'm sure Kyle Tucker's deal is going to be paid within the next couple months. Everything is set up for them to do this, and nobody else can do it. So those are my initial thoughts on the Dodgers. I'll continue to set the stage here for what we're going to get into tonight over in the NFL. I mean, I already talked about it a little bit. Sean McDermott, I think it was time for the Bills to move off of McDermott and bring in a new era. They haven't been able to do it with this Josh Allen group so far. This was the year for them to do it. No Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow, and they weren't able to do it. I get it. Josh Allen, turned into a turnover machine. He had 5 turnovers in that game. But a lot of it is on the coach. Coaching is a huge part of the NFL. I think more than any other sport, maybe baseball would give it a run for its money. But coaching in the NFL is so important. And the Bills needed a new voice. President Trump is down in Miami for the CFP National Championship. But it was time for a new voice. And now, if you're John Harbaugh, if you're Kevin Stefanski, who have already agreed to contracts with their respective teams, do you wish that you would have waited? Because the Bills job is clearly the most desirable. It's more desirable than the Giants. It's more desirable than the Falcons for sure. I mean, you have a chance to coach Josh Allen and James Cook in that backfield in win now mode. You don't have to go and develop anything, where the Giants are still going to be in a developmental stage next year. You're going right back to win now mode. Sometimes that's a good thing. Other times it's probably a bad thing. But nonetheless, Harbaugh is off the board. Who can become the next head coach of the Bills? Can it be Robert Saleh? I think there are some options for the Bills out there. We'll see how it falls. I'm trying to think. Cody Bellinger's still on the market, going back to a little bit of baseball. And that's what I was thinking about. The Knicks. The New York Knicks are absolutely awful right now. The entire month since they won the NBA Cup has just not been good basketball. And I think it's good. I don't see it stopping. Like, the team, they don't have an identity right now. They're not playing good defense. They're not being physical. Karl Anthony Towns, I'm sorry, he's not good enough. He had a real nice first year in New York, and then it's had their most successful season in 25 years. But right now, it's not okay. Fist bump dad, Dayball to Buffalo. That would be some reunion, man. After Dayball leaves the Bills for the Giants to take that head coaching job, I think he was the quarterback coach of Buffalo a couple of years back before coming to New York. Brian Dayball could go back to Buffalo. I wouldn't hate it. I mean, he developed Josh Allen. So I'm sure that Josh wouldn't be mad at it either. The question is, do the Bills want Dayball back after he betrayed them, maybe after he left them? But you can't blame a guy for leaving for another head coaching job. So I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't mind that if I was a Bills fan. I could see that happening. Let's see. I have another screen now. It's going to be on delay, but let's get the Nets game going here. A little more sports, because my setup isn't complete yet. If we have another screen, why not use it? As they say. I don't know exactly who says that, but Suns Nets is going on right now. That game is just starting up. Probably hasn't even started yet. We're going to get that one in the queue as well. 7:45 here on a Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Enjoyed my day off from school. Very appreciative for that one. Let's see. Yeah, the Nets game is just getting going, about a minute into the game. So nothing happening over there. And like I said, this is a stream for the College Football Playoff National Championship, but we're just hanging out. We're vibing. We're talking to the chat. Whatever you guys want to talk about is where me right now and Keith, when he eventually jumps on, that's where we're going to go to, because I don't know who can talk for that long about college football, but I certainly am not an expert on these teams. Obviously, I'm informed. I've watched the playoff runs. I know enough about Indiana and Miami, but I'm not going to be able to sit here and talk for 3 hours about the Indiana Hoosiers and the Miami Hurricanes. I'm excited to watch, though. The college football playoff has been exciting. There's been a bunch of good games, a lot of upsets, and I think I put a short out about this a couple of weeks. Go check me out on Instagram at @thesportspod_Ben. But I was saying, there's so much time off in the college football playoff, and I was briefly mentioned it earlier in this stream that it is Monday, January 19th, and we're finally reaching the end of the college football playoff, and it feels like it's been going on forever. Next year, the College Football Playoff National Championship isn't going to be until Monday, January 25th. We're going to have another week. There's so much time off. It's ridiculous. There was 27 days between the Big Ten championship and Ohio State's CFP semifinal game. These guys are conditioned to be ready to go week in and week out. They're not supposed to sit around for 3 weeks and come back to it. A week off is nice. 2 weeks off, even to get some guys back from injury, lick some wounds, but it's too much when it's 3 weeks off. What do you think about the recent situation about Miami's right tackle? Let me see. I'm not too sure what you're referencing there. I know there's been the situation with Carson Beck, where he's in grad school, but he's not really going to class, and he's in his like 7th year of college football. He could be an NFL vet at this point, but he's still rocking out at Miami, second school he's been to. That's the argument you could make for the Hurricanes. They've got experience in the form of Carson Beck, who has definitely been here and done that at the CFP level. I don't know. I just think Miami's pass rush has been so good against both Ohio State and Ole Miss. Indiana's offensive line has just been better, though. It's a different level with the Hoosiers this year. And moving forward, do you guys think Indiana's going to become a football school? Do you think Kirk Cignetti is going to jump ship if there's another school with a higher football standard that's offering him a similar amount of money? Because in this NIL era, it happens so often. What does that cup say? You know what it says, man. It's the sports pod. Chase_Ballion1 knows a lot about that cup because he got it for me for Christmas. So he's trying to pump himself up there, Chase. We all see you. You're not slick. Yeah, it's the custom sports pod mug. I have my tea in it on game days, keep the voice right. Yeah, teams are running out now, so we're finally getting close to kickoff at 7:48 p.m. This game was supposed to be a 7:30 kickoff. 18 minutes past the start time. That's okay, because Keith is going to be joining us here in about 10 or so minutes after his son goes to sleep, and then we'll really get rocking, get talking. Make sure you call in. You see it down below me, 848-305-8073. You can have your voice heard on the Sports Pod, a live stream. I think the stream will also be simulcasted to Keith's channel. Hopefully that brings in some more callers. He's got a little bit more of a developed account, some more followers, subscribers, if you will, than me. But it's on the other side, by the way. No, it's not. I can see it on the preview here. I'm pointing down to where it is. Trying to trip me up, Chase. But not gonna work. Not gonna work on me. All right, captain's finally walking out there. Michael Irvin, the honorary captain. Let me see if I can pull something out. A little Michael Irvin belt action. That's what he's been going viral for throughout these playoffs. Hoping to do it one more time this year. I mean, it was a real jerk move what he did. In that game after that game against Ohio State. Well, he was pretty much, he got right up in front of all the photographers that were taking pictures. After that touchdown at the end of the game, he ruined all their shots, those credentialed media members, just because he's Michael Irvin. Like, that's not okay, man. I promise you it's not. Let me see. Let me pull up the other version of the stream that I have here. Maybe Chase is onto something. I don't think he is, though. Watching it now, Chase. I don't think you're going to get me on this one. Oh, you definitely got me. Wow, all right. So now I'll know to point down on this side. That's the number to call, 848-305-8073. It's backwards for something. Hey, everyone, Keith brought me here. Heck yeah, stay in here. Stay in the chat. Vibe out, Subscribe to the channel if you want, or we got a lot coming up tonight. Keith will be joining us pretty soon here, about 9 minutes or so. At 8 o'clock is when he said he'd come on. But stay. I'm happy that our promotions are working. Yeah, what's up? How do you pronounce that name? Give me a second here. Lucha Lecho. Right? Something like that. Subscribe. Absolutely. Let's go, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the followers. We're climbing up there on YouTube, man. We're posting 2 videos a day on Instagram, on TikTok, on the YouTube Shorts. So stay tuned. We're not going anywhere. We're just getting started here. 2026 is the year. So the game is finally about to kick off. Mario Cristobal doing a pregame interview with Holly McGrath. Those pregame interviews must be so frustrating to the coaches. I know they're probably not doing it in real time, but still to take your time out of your game day, like 10 minutes before the game, it must be annoying. What are you guys talking about tonight? The college football game is going to be on, but I don't know if we're going to spend all the time on that. I think we're going to get to some NFL, some MLB, maybe some NBA, the Knicks, another putrid performance. I set the scene a little earlier on, but I'll get back to some of that stuff. I mean, the MLB, I think it's heading towards a lockout. This Dodger stuff, it's gotten to be too much with them. What do the Mets and Yankees need to do to make this a successful offseason? I mean, for the Yankees, it is probably signing Cody Bellinger at this point. And for the Mets, they just need to sign who's out there for them. I mean, they've made a lot of moves. It just feels like there's so much more that's going out than what's coming in. And then with the NFL, obviously, Sean McDermott was fired today. And it's been a string of successful head coaches getting fired this offseason. I mean, Harbaugh's already signed with the Giants. Stefanski is with the Falcons now. So, and if you're those guys, are you wishing that you waited a little bit? Are you wishing that you took a couple more interviews, shopped around? Because the Bills, in my opinion, are the most desirable location, more certainly than the Falcons. And I can make a case that they're more desirable than the Giants. So we'll get into everything. And whatever you guys are calling up with, whatever you guys want to talk about in the chat. Is it spelled out Luchalechhoso? It's all good, man. I appreciate you being here in the chat. As we're finally getting started here, Miami's going to have the ball first. So Carson Beck will have the first stab at it. I think for Miami, establishing their run game early is going to be such a huge piece. Tomlin to Buffalo? Oh, yes. Okay. Sounds good. Tomlin to Buffalo. I think Tomlin is going to end up on the Ravens. I actually, no, I don't like that at all now that I put it into words. Because I can't see him stepping down and then going to a division rival. It doesn't usually work like that. I could see Tomlin to Buffalo. He's a successful guy. Maybe to the Raiders. I can't see the Raiders wanting him to develop a new quarterback, though. So we'll see. I think Tomlin's a really interesting guy. See where his market is, as Miami already has a first down. How are you, Fist Bump Dad? I wonder how the Fist Bump Dad is doing tonight. I'm just thinking back to last week. Would have that been 2 weeks? No, it was last week. Ole Miss versus Miami. The end of that game was so much fun. What moves do you think the Mets have to make at this point with what's left in free agency? The thing is, so many guys are off the board and the market is so slim at this point that it feels like they kind of need everyone. Like, I doubt they get Cody Bellinger, but the way their roster is set up right now, they have like 2 or 3 outfielders and about 1 million infielders. I know they're probably going to shift Brett Beatty to left field, which I'm actually intrigued by. I think it could be very interesting if they do develop Beatty as a left fielder, because he's still young enough to learn the position. He's still young enough to make that transition. And that's a pretty common transition, young and early in people's careers, third base to left field. But the rest of the infield is still congested. I mean, Bo Bichette's probably going to be your third baseman. He doesn't have the strongest arm in the world. The middle infield, I'm not too worried about. Lindor's a plus defender at shortstop. Even though we took a step back last year. And then at second, both Acuna and Semien, whoever you want to put out there, they both have good defense. And at first base, I think it's going to be Jorge Polanco with Vientos DHing. Again, Polanco's a veteran, but he doesn't have a ton of experience playing first base. I'm sure he'll figure it out because he's always been a solid defender in his career, but I could see a world where he doesn't. So there's still so many question marks. And really for the Mets, the X factor is going to be, can Francisco Alvarez have a bounce back year? He struggled with injuries last year. Can he stay on the field and can he stay consistent? But what moves do I think the Mets have to make? I think I would love to bring in Cody Bellinger. It doesn't seem like the Yankees are going to meet his needs in terms of contract. So if the Mets could swoop in at the 11th hour and make steal another player like they did with Bichette, I wouldn't be mad at it. The pitching is really interesting to me though, because I don't want to bring in Framber Valdez. I don't want to trade for Freddie Peralta, who's going to be a rental. He's only on a 1-year deal. So you're putting a lot of pressure on Manai having a bounce back year, on Senga staying on the field, which he did just his rookie year, and then Nolan McLean following up his phenomenal rookie season with a nice sophomore year. Christian Scott to come back from Tommy John, which I think Scott is very underrated. No one is talking about him right now, but when he came up in like August of 2024 and dominated for like 2 or 3 weeks before going down with Tommy John, people were comparing him to Matt Harvey. Jonah Tong is the other one that Chase is pointing out in the chat. Brandon Sproat is another name. The Mets have a lot of young pitchers, but Stearns is putting so much pressure on those guys to succeed right now because there's no other option if the Mets are going to be successful. Christian Kirk had a good game the other day. Yeah, I guess he was all right. I'm not too sure what his exact stat line was, but Texans weren't able to come out on top. Doesn't really matter. Christian Scott, my guy. Yeah, I mean, he did remind you of that Steven Matz, Matt Harvey. Like, that's the kind of rotation the Mets have to have. It's got to be that like 2015, 2016-esque where it's the 5 aces. Everyone is young. Everyone's just coming up. And if that can happen, and I think the Mets offense is going to be very good this year. They've got guys that can hit everywhere in the lineup. Christian Kirk is on the Bills. No, he's not. He's a Texan. They've got guys that can hit all over the lineup. The thing is, can they hit with runners in scoring position? Because how many times last year did they have runners on first and second, an out or 2 outs, 1 out more likely, and not be able to punch in? Bo Bichette led the league in hits with runners in scoring position last year. He needs to carry that over. Marcus Semien is a guy who's finished top 3 in MVP voting multiple times throughout his career. I'm confident that Mark Vientos can have a bounce back year. I know it's in him because he did it just a couple years ago, and he did it in big moments. It wasn't like he was hitting meaningless homers in the 8th inning with the Mets up or down 5 or 6 runs. He was right in the thick of things throughout that playoffs. I always remember that playoff game against the Phillies. I think it was game 2 of the series. The Mets ended up losing, but Vientos had like a couple monster hits. I remember at least 1 homer. I can't remember if there was a second. He's done it in big time moments. I think he's a huge part of the lineup. And like I said, Francisco Alvarez is going to be such a big piece if he could stay on the field. How did your fantasy football teams do this year? See, the thing with me in fantasy, I don't really enjoy it. I don't find it meaningful enough. I would rather watch the football games for the teams and not for specific players. I find that I actually watch the games more like that, and it helps my content. Rather than watching specific players who are on my team or I'm going against in any given week. So I don't check my fantasy teams too often. I was in maybe 2 leagues this year. My teams didn't do too hot, but again, I'm not really checking. I think I checked 1 week and I had like 4 players on IR. So I just don't care about it enough. All right, Indiana got off the field. The defense got a stop on their first time out today, so it's going to be Fernando Mendoza and the Indiana Hoosiers. They're backed up pretty deep in their own territory as we cross the 8 o'clock marker. Keith should be joining us pretty soon here. On their own 5-yard line is where the Hoosiers will start it. Fake handoff, and a pass goes to the outside. A nice move from the Hoosier receiver, and he's up close to a first down. Hot start for Indy. Hot start. What place? I can pull it up. I don't think it was too good though. We're threatening last place. We are definitely threatening last place. But yeah, man, let me put the phone number in the chat here. And then pin that so you know where to call in at. How do I do this? Star maybe? That might pin it. I'm not too no, I don't think that will. Delete comment. No, I don't know. I'll just keep sending it throughout the stream, and it's on the screen down here, 848-305-8073. The number to call if you want to talk to me, if you want to talk to Keith when he shows up. Fernando Mendoza and the Indiana Hoosiers have a first down. This time he'll look to pass again. Little short screen pass to the running back. It's 8 and up after a gain of a yard. Solid defensive play from Miami. But we're talking everything, man. We just got on a little Knicks run, a little Mets run. Sorry, I'm thinking about the Knicks. That's where I want to go next after watching that performance. Cooper Flagg made his MSG debut today. The Mavs just dominated the Knicks, and it's been really the common theme of this past month. Teams walking into the Garden or the Knicks going to other teams' place and not being successful. It's getting to a point where it's not okay. Because the Knicks are supposed to be a top 3 team in the East, and right now they're looking not like a playoff team. So Mendoza has to get rid of it on 3rd and 8, so Miami gets off the field. Let's look at the box score from today's Mavs-Knicks game. Let's see. The pass rush was good here from the Hurricanes. Coming off the edge, that's what it's going to be. Wow, he just bulldozed through the running back and was right at Mendoza immediately. Really nice rush. The edge rushers for Miami are so solid. Taking a peek getting out to the Knicks real quick. 114-97, the Knicks lose. Cooper Flagg puts up 18. It was Max Christie with 26 points. 26 points. Najee Marshall was in Josh Hart's face the entire game. He had 19. Off the bench, 15 and 14 respectfully for Musa Cease and Klay Thompson. And for the Knicks, this is interesting. 22 points for Cat, 22 for Brunson. And not efficient for either guy. 9 for 19 for Cat. And that's not terrible, actually. 9 for 24 for Brunson. You would like to be a little bit better. Again, it was like there was a lid on the rim for the Knicks. They couldn't shoot the ball from 3. I think they missed something like their first 10 3-point shots. Did Jason Kidd look for revenge tonight since the Knicks weren't able to trade for him last summer? Maybe. I mean, I don't think you're looking for revenge if a team couldn't trade for you, but definitely an option. Is there a penalty on this face mask? On this punt return? It looked like it could have been a face mask. Both teams have had one chance on offense here in the Natty. No points to show for it on either side. Let's see. I mean, looking back, I think the Knicks are 3-9 in their last 12 games. That's not good enough. Like, this is a pretty important year for the Knicks, I would say. I think this is the year. If they're going to win the finals, they've got to do it this year. It's similar to the Bills, where you're not going to have Jason Tatum, the Patrick Mahomes, where you're not going to have Tyrese Halliburton, the Joe Burrow. You need to break through now. I know you don't match up very well against the Pistons, but you've got to be better than what you're showing right now. It's not Knicks basketball. It's no identity. I think I heard Tracy McGrady talking about how the Knicks lacked their identity, and they had one under Tom Thibodeau. They were a strong defensive team, and their offense wasn't going to beat you. It was still a very good offense. Of course, you're going to have that with Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, but their defense was going to be where they win games. Right now with Mike Brown, they lack an identity. And I was reading the other day that Mike Brown can't really be honest about his feelings on the team in fear of hurting his players' feelings, specifically with Karl Anthony Towns. You're not going to have an identity. You're not going to build that identity. I know it's the first year under a new coach, but you would at least start to see what the Knicks are going to try to do at this point. Identity-wise, I mean, we're halfway through the year, and the Knicks are in free fall right now. The Nets, all right, so here's the upcoming schedule. Nets, Sixers, Kings. You need those 3. I know the Kings beat you up on their floor a couple weeks back, and you already lost to the Sixers once, if not twice this year. But you need all 3 of those games, no questions asked. It has to be a 3-0 stretch, but I'm not confident in that happening right now. It just doesn't look like the Knicks are going to do it. They're not physical. They're not asserting themselves on the defensive side of the ball, and that's what they have to do. When you have guys like OG, when you have guys like Mikal, when you have Mitchell Robinsons on your team, you've got to establish the defensive side and then turn that into offense. That's where it's got to be for the Knicks, and they're not doing it right now. So we'll see what happens with the Knicks. I'm very frustrated with them right now. I would love for them to go on another West Coast trip because the Boo Birds have been out at Madison Square Garden as of late. And deservedly so. The Knicks haven't looked good over the past couple weeks. So we're getting set up here. Still waiting for Keith. He'll be joining us momentarily, but now, as of now, it's Carson Beck and the Hurricanes on offense, their second offensive possession of the day. The Nets are down 13. Oh, the Boo Birds. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a common one. But they deserve it right now. They look awful. And I'm a huge Knicks guy. I mean, I would say in terms of my fandom, it's Knicks and Mets, 1A, 1B, and then Giants, a good step below. So maybe I'm going to be a little bit more critical of the Knicks. But it's just not the basketball I've become accustomed to watching over the past couple of years. I mean, this is the worst they've looked in the Jalen Brunson era. And I think a huge part of it is due to Cat. I think they have to think about moving him at the deadline. The problem is Giannis is going to be the only major star available at the deadline. And when you try to incorporate a player of Giannis's caliber into a lineup for the back half of the year, you need time to build up the chemistry. Like OG Anunoby was a seamless fit into the Knicks lineup when he showed up on New Year's Day 2 years back, but he's not commanding the ball as much as Giannis is going to be. He's not doing as much where he needs the attention on him as OG Anunoby. So it would take time for Giannis to get accustomed, meaning the Knicks probably wouldn't make the run this year. And right now, I think for sure the Knicks aren't going to make that championship run. Could it be coaching? I mean, you have to think about it a little bit. I don't think it's all on coaching because Mike Brown has taken his team to the NBA Finals before. I don't think he's ever won one as a head coach, but he does have an NBA Finals under his belt. I think a little bit of it is, but then who are you going to fire him? And then we're just playing ping pong with the coaches. We're bouncing around every year now. You got to find stability. I think you got to see this year through. I don't want to make a determination on whether it's the coaching yet. But like I said, Mike Brown can't be fully honest, which means he can't do his job to the fullest. And I place some of that on Cat. He's too fragile. He's too frugal with his emotions. As Indiana's going to get the ball back here on their own 30, 8:50 to go in the first quarter. Listen, I think Mike Brown is a good coach. I think he's a fine coach, and we saw that in the month of December. I know it's in there for the Knicks. I just need them to pull it out. I just need them to get back to what they were doing because I wouldn't be so mad right now if the Knicks had looked like this rickety team like they were to start the year. Because if you remember the first couple weeks of the year, they were hovering around 500. They weren't really excelling in any category. And then they hit their stride in the middle of November, and they took it to the middle of December. They were playing their best basketball at that point. And then after the NBA Cup, where they were playing an extra week of playoff intensity basketball, it's been a landslide. Things have fallen off a cliff for the Knicks. So I know they have the ability, they have the talent, they have the coaching to do it. It's just about getting back to what they were doing. Cat's not him. He's soft, not athletic, and cries way too much. We need Leon to work his magic and move him. I don't mind it. I mean, I'm done with Cat, and I look at myself as a person who likes to wait things out and see things through, but right now with Cat, it's clearly not there. The Knicks' ceiling isn't high enough to win with Cat. And very Sesty. Yeah, I'm not going to speak much further on that one. Here we go. A couple flags in this college football game. Who do you think will win, the Indians or the frat boys? That's an interesting way to put it. I'm gonna take Indiana though. I think they match up better against Miami. Miami's pass rush is really good. Okay, but so is Indiana's offensive line. And Fernando Mendoza, one of the best arm talents, if not the best in college football. The Hurricanes have some cornerbacks banged up. They're not at their strongest tonight. And the Miami defense and Miami as a whole has looked like they've hit their stride and everything's clicking throughout this playoff run. 1st and 20 after an offensive penalty. Indiana's going to pick it all back and a first down. On 1st and 20, Indiana gets it right back. That's exactly what you're looking for. If you're part of the Hoosiers, let's see. I agree. Fernando Tatis is very nonchalant. Yes, because I was talking a lot about Tatis. But you could say that. You could say that. Let me see. Is that Weston? That looks like some kind of Weston comment. Run up the middle on first down for the Hoosiers goes for about 5 yards. How are we feeling here, chat? Where do you think Mendoza ends up at in the NFL? It's going to be the Raiders. He's a shoo-in for the first overall pick at this point. But I don't think he'll work out in the NFL. I don't think he has the NFL build. He doesn't have the NFL body type. He's not elusive enough. He can't run enough. And he's going to Vegas, where they're not really known for developing quarterbacks. They don't have their coach right now. It's so hard to come in with what I'm assuming will be like a coach that's got fired for being fired. I don't think Sean McDermott's going to end up in Vegas. Maybe it ends up being Tomlin, but even if you get Tomlin, he's a defensive-minded guy. I think he has bust written all over him. If you look at the teams that Indiana really was successful against, and Mendoza had his best games against, it was Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, Indiana State, Iowa, Michigan State, Purdue even. Like, these aren't football schools that the Hoosiers were going crazy against. Can he decline his draft pick? I'm not sure. I don't think so. Because I know in the MLB you can get drafted and then go back to school or go to another league, but who knows with NIL and the transfer portal nowadays? Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Mendoza took a big hit from the Miami edge rusher. He's back up and playing. A blindside hit after he threw the ball. Miami's got it in hurricane territory. Another handoff on first down goes for a solid gain, maybe 2 or 3. Let's see, man, what else do we want to get into here? We want to talk a little NFL now. I know we got a couple shout outs to the NFL in the chat. Sean McDermott, I mean, that's the big news of the day. I think we'll continue to talk about it as the stream goes along, but I think the end of the day, it was time. 9 years in Buffalo for McDermott, none of which where he reached the Super Bowl. This year, there was no Patrick Mahomes in his way. There was no Lamar Jackson in his way. There was no Joe Burrow in the way. He couldn't beat C.J. Stroud, Bo Nix, Drake May, Justin Herbert. He couldn't get through those guys. How is he ever going to get through the top guys? Because the Chiefs have a top 10 draft pick this year. I'm assuming they'll use it to take a wide receiver or they'll make a play for one in free agency, in the trade market, whatever. If Patrick Mahomes comes back with a top wide receiver in the league, with a nice young target to dump the ball off to, the Chiefs are going to have the second wind of their dynasty. Cat is the Caleb Williams of the NBA. What is with you and talking about Cat being zesty? We don't need that negativity towards Cat. I think everything is okay. We're good on that one. But getting back to McDermott and Josh Allen, I don't think Allen ever gets to a Super Bowl. I think he's a really nice player, but he's playing in such a tough AFC. This year it was so wide open. It won't be there. It won't be this wide open ever again. You couldn't do it this year. I don't know when you will. That's the end of the story. Mendoza just took another big blindside hit. That's 2 in a row. He was in his throwing motion, so that's not going to be like a roughing the passer or anything. We should ban Chase. I mean, I'm not too mad at it. He got rocked from behind him. That's a huge hit. Now it's a 3rd and 5 for Indiana. They're on the fringe of field goal range, probably just outside it. They'll need this first down. No, they're in field goal range. I thought they were on the 38 rather than the 28. A run up the middle, first down, Indiana. They get into the red area. That's Indiana's game. They don't have to lean on Fernando Mendoza there. You think they're going to pass? They decide to keep it on the ground with the run. Here we go, man. 8:15 or so. Here on this Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. In case you're worried about the Brooklyn Nets, it's 48-32 over there. The Nets are trailing. Knicks Nets this Wednesday. How are we feeling? The battle for the boroughs should be a W for the Knicks. Mendoza just got hit again on a read option. That's 3 plays in a row, or close to 3 plays in a row, where Mendoza is just taking hit after hit after hit. Man, I was talking to someone and they said Miami was going to play dirty and headhunt on Mendoza, but I didn't realize it would be this bad. I mean, that's an unnecessary hit. I mean, I guess you're doing your job if you're Mendoza. You're making the defense think. You kept the ball and you're running with it. This time he'll actually run with it. He's taken down after a gain of about 2 yards. But I feel like it was pretty clear he handed the ball off on that one. Welcome to the U, ha ha ha. That was a dirty hit. Yeah, man. That's what Miami does. They play dirty. They play reckless. They're undisciplined. They're going to draw some unnecessary roughness penalties, unsportsmanlike conduct. That's what they do. So you got to, whether you hate it or you love it, that's the truth. That was a dirty hit, though. There's no doubt about it. Let's see. Can Indiana get on the board first to the end zone? Nearly intercepted, but it's batted down. Really nice play. Really nice play from the Miami corner on 3rd and 6. It'll bring out the field goal unit. Interesting play call there. You go for the end zone on 3rd and medium. I feel like that's a spot where you run a medium route. You try to keep the drive going. So Nico Radicic is going to come out for the field goal, trying to put the Hoosiers on the board. It's true. And looking at the crowd, they show the view of, I don't know, I guess the baseline, if you will, the end line. And behind the Indiana field goal, there is a sea of red. I know this is a home game for Miami, but there is so much Indiana red in that crowd. That's it. A huge factor. Indiana's traveled well this year. So I'd expect it to continue for this game, but that was a lot of Hoosier fans in the crowd there. How we feeling, chat? About an hour into the stream. Keith should be joining us any minute now. He said he's going to join after he puts his son to sleep. He said around 8 o'clock. We're pushing 8:20. So he'll be on soon if you're waiting for him. But in the meantime, 848-305-8073 is the number to dial. If you want to talk to me, you can go back and forth. We can talk college football. We can talk NBA. There's Keith. You're in the chat. So he'll be joining us shortly here. But like I said, 848-305-8073. Ben, send me the link to join. I sent it to you on Instagram. You need me to send it in an email? Let me see. Let me get that to you now. Give me a second here. How do I do this? Bear with me here. Sent it a couple of days ago, man. I sent it an hour ago. What are we doing, Keith? I got you. We're good. So Keith will be coming on now. And we'll rock this for however long. However long we get engagement, however long the game goes. Whatever, I'm excited. Let's go, man. Like I said, I keep saying it. 848-305-8073. The number to dial up, get on the line. Nobody else does the call-ins. Nobody else does it. And here's Keith. Let's bring him onto the stage now. There he is. What's going on, Keith?
Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Yo.
Are we gonna do this
My
the
apologies.
chipmunk thing again?
Yo, that was on you. I talked to some people after the stream. They said the reverb, the like
Let me check
feedback we
my-
were getting. They said that was coming from you, bro. So I don't know.
There we go.
Do I sound all right in here? Am I in here now? Are we good?
We're good. I had the wrong
am I
output
good?
on my headphones. All right, Keith, how we doing?
All right. I had to put my son to bed after giving him a bath, and then I had to take a shower so that I don't go into the master bedroom and wake my wife up later taking a shower. So, yo, this is just grown man stuff. You'll get there one day. Don't rush it. Don't rush it, bro. You can't do a live until the baby is sleeping and until you make sure you're clear from going into the master bedroom. So here I am.
Yeah, man. I mean, we got 3-0 Indy. In the CFP
I've been watching.
championship. Yeah, we've been watching. That drive, a lot of headhunting for Miami. A couple dirty hits, I thought.
Yeah. Well, you're in Miami. They're in their building. This is the last game they're going to play. They're geeked up and they don't care, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought the one where it was the RPO, that was bad. But other than that, it hasn't been too terrible.
Yeah, you know, football a lot is soft. So I'm not foreign to some smash mouth football. Like I like that kind of party most of the time. You know, there's obviously a line you got to toe to keep it clean, but yeah, we'll see how it goes the rest of the way. Let me see if I can. Usually, if I log in on StreamYard, there's like a way for me to
Like share to your audience. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, maybe not, because I just did a stream with my guy Gabe where I was able to send it to my YouTube channel and my Twitter, but I don't see that option right now.
Let me see. We got a call coming in, so let's go to that now. What's going on, man? What's your name and where are you from? You there? Uh-oh.
I can't hear him.
I can't hear him either. You there? Going once. Going twice. And he hung up. Maybe he'll call back. Oh, he's calling back again. See if it works this time. Come on, man. What's going on here?
Working in tech, expect some
Yeah.
tech difficulties.
It seems like it's connected. The audio's up. And he hung up again. Let me see. I don't know what's going on, man.
Have you taken a call tonight, or was that the first
I
one?
haven't taken one tonight, but I took him last night. I took him a couple days ago.
Yeah, so you're familiar with the system, but you just haven't gotten one on this live tonight.
Yeah, let me see. I just changed one more thing up. Call back if you're watching. Is it too late to call for Giannis? No, absolutely not. Here we go now. Let's see it. One more
The
try.
Knicks got smacked, right? I was looking at it was like 100-80 when I last looked. Let me get the scores up. Let me get this box score up from.
Yeah, we went through it a little bit. It was Knicks are in a bad one right now, man. Knicks are in a bad one.
You hate to see it, but predictable. Probably could have told you guys it wasn't going to be straight rocket ship to the finals. It's not how it goes.
The thing with them that's frustrating me most right now is that I know it's in there. They just haven't been able to get back to it because they were doing it in that month of December. Everything was clicking. Everything, they were firing on all cylinders. They had everything going on. And after the NBA Cup, they just fell off a cliff. It's like frustrating because you know they have it. And
Do we know that they have it because they won the NBA Cup because they started the season off good? We don't know what they're going to be, what they're going to become.
Here we go. Now it'll work.
Now I hear the ringing.
What's your name and where you're from?
This is TD and Gillette.
Yeah, there we go. What you got for us?
It's good.
The phone's working. You got it good?
The phone's working. I don't know what's going on.
We can hear you.
Maybe a prank caller. But since you guys are talking Knicks, can you give me a minute?
Yeah, of course.
All right. Cat is not the answer. I don't know who is. I don't know if it's Giannis. I don't know if it's chemistry. I don't know what it is. But this window where the Knicks fan was getting used to winning, and this is going to be sustainability around here, I feel like it's already closing. Can you give me something that's going to give me some hope that they're going to get out of this rut, maybe make a move or two, and get back on the right track?
The thing I'll give you, TD, is that Leon Rose hasn't made a bad decision, or really hasn't made many bad decisions since coming aboard the New York Knicks. Right now, they're in a bad one, and I don't think Cat is the answer either. I also don't think Giannis is the answer because he's too ball dominant, and the floor spacing isn't going to be there between him and Brunson. So I don't know if it happens this year. Maybe this group isn't it, but I think down the line, the sustainability part is what I'll talk to most because Leon Rose has proved that he's a more than competent executive. And I think in the New York region, I think he's the best one we've got.
He hasn't won anything yet. I'm not a Knicks fan, so I'll give it to you straight. They're not winning the championship this year. They were never winning the championship this year. They should have kept Tommy T. They should have kept Tibbs, Tom Thibodeau. But, what can Brown do for you? Mike Brown can give you these illusions of, oh, look at the depth. We're playing Tyler Kolek. Look at how many guys off the bench, whatever. When you get to the actual playoffs, you're going to need quality depth. When you get to the actual playoffs, I don't think this team right now, as presently constructed, is really going to contend, not even in the, nothing. They can't do anything with the West, but nothing happens with the West until you get to the finals. I don't think that they get out of the East. I was just looking at Tatum last week. He had a video where he mouthed, "I'm ready." And I'm like, bro, if Tatum comes back, the Celtics are right there where they are in the standings. The Pistons, you already had to rumble with them last year. They'll be looking for revenge. Like, it's tough to fire a coach and get a team that's ready to win a championship. But it's the Knicks. They're always going to have so much fandom and so much conversation before they actually do anything. So I don't know. I know I sound like a hater. I'm not a Knicks fan, but I just think it was all hype. And now you're just starting to see in this middle part of the season, it's not going to be as simple as walking into the NBA Finals. Maybe they should have hung the banner. Maybe they do need to trade for Giannis, but it's not that simple in the NBA. There's a lot of good players and a lot of good teams. And the Knicks aren't winning the finals this year. I don't think they're getting back to the Eastern Conference Finals this year. Hot take.
Here we go again. Our second call tonight. How's it going, man? What's your name and where you from?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you now.
All right, finally. Fourth time's the charm.
Third time's the charm.
What's up, Ben? What's up, Keith?
What's up?
Swinging for the fences. What's up, my guys?
George.
Oh, George. George, where you been?
Good. Doing good. I want to get your thoughts on IU. I know it's kind of hard to gauge college football in the years to come, but do you see IU starting to become this sort of powerhouse in the Big Ten, or could you see this year becoming a one and done Cinderella story and we don't see IU back in this situation for the next couple years?
The thing for me is Kirk Cignetti going to stick around? Is he going to get a job offer from a school with a higher football prestige, maybe the Michigan, the Ohio State, one of those kind of schools, and just jump ship because he's making a similar amount of money? And obviously he's going to Ohio State, who has been playing football and dominating in football for so long. If that's the case, I doubt the Hoosiers stick around. But if Cignetti sticks around, I think the Hoosiers will too. He's a really good head coach, and he's brought in a ton of recruits, a ton of transfers. So I'll get your thoughts on Keith because, you're a JMU guy. He's a JMU guy. That's my pick.
Listen, Kurt's not going anywhere. Kurt can go anywhere that he wants. He signed an 8-year contract with Indiana. That's going to pay him close to $93 million. So that's basically Kurt Signetti putting his flag down saying, yeah, you see it. Google me. I win. 2 years. Look what I've done. I took the most losingest program in college football, 700 losses over X amount of years, and I got them into the college football playoff. And then the second year, they're undefeated playing for the national championship. Now let's start with Fernando Mendoza. Fernando Mendoza is not going to be there. Heisman Trophy winner, the projected #1 overall pick. Well, Josh Hoover just transferred there from TCU. Josh Hoover is most likely going to be their starting quarterback next year. Everything starts and ends with that. Look at Carson Beck, right? Carson Beck transfers from Georgia to the U, and they're in the national championship. So they're going to have their quarterback next year. Obviously, they have 6-year seniors, 5th-year seniors, 4-year, players that have played 4 years of college football, and some of those guys will move on. But I think they will continue to keep that formula. When I did my little promo saying that I was coming on this live, I talked about Indiana, and I said those are grown men. They're not 18, 19-year-olds. They're 20, 21, 22-year-olds, some even 23 years old. Like,
streaming. I think I'm going to see you boys Saturday.
Yeah, we'll see you on
George,
Saturday.
I will see you at the event, Bleecker Trading, on Saturday.
Be there. I'll be there. Keith will be there, of course. It's his event.
Yeah, of course. I got to be there. But yeah, man, I know I got long-winded about IU, but as somebody who played football at James Madison University and heard the dream of, like, we're going to be Division I one day. We're going to make the stadium bigger. We're going to be able to host teams, bigger teams, and take on, teams and try and be ranked in the college football. And then they did it. Right, Kurt Signetti really was the one that paved the way from Division I AA to 1A, which is Division FCS to FBS. He was the coach that was there for the change. He went 11-1 in 2003, and they lost that stupid game to App State. And then when he went to Indiana, nobody was thinking that he was going to turn Indiana around this fast. They're not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. They're going to win tonight, and they're going to build a statue of this man outside of Indiana's campus, and they're probably going to start making a Hoosiers too, but a football movie, not a basketball movie.
Indiana looked lit. The campus tonight, I saw them on Instagram. They were having that watch party at their basketball arena. They had kids camping out for that. But as far as Mendoza goes, what are your thoughts on him entering the NBA draft? Do you think he's going to pan out?
It depends on the situation. Like, most likely he's going to be a Raider. You know what? I think getting him around Tom Brady, that helps his chances to pan out. They're both a little quirky. They're both a little off. And I just think that, like, he needs to be in the right situation. Who's going to be the offensive coordinator there? Who's going to be the head coach there? We don't know. But when you put him in a system, with Ashton Jeanty, and when you put him in a system with Brock Bowers, he's going to have weapons, but who is going to protect this kid? Who is going to block for this kid? I don't care who you are. I don't care if it's Kenny Pickett. I don't care if it's Geno Smith. If there's no protection up front, nobody can be successful. But I think it's about you're going to get Mendoza. Who is going to be his offensive coordinator, his head coach, and is Tom Brady going to have a hand and a say in all that?
The thing I'll argue that with is he's going to Vegas, where they have no stability, no structure, no vision for the future. And B, if you look at who Indiana played this year, a lot of their wins were against subpar opponents. Old Dominion, Kennesaw State.
My boy, you got to throw that argument out now.
Why? Well,
they just put belt to ass on Oregon. They beat Alabama in the Rose Bowl, beat the brakes off them. They beat Ohio State. Like,
with the Alabama game, they lived running the ball. There was a stat.
Okay, so yeah, if you want to make the argument for Mendoza not winning them that game, right, yeah, but early in the season when they were beating Illinois State and Kennesaw State and these other teams that people were saying, oh, they didn't really play anybody. But I'm like, yo, they got stronger as the year went on, and they actually did beat some good teams. So, like, we can't really keep saying that. Like, I don't care what they did in September. It's January now.
Yeah,
but this is low scoring. This is lower scoring than I thought so far tonight. 3-0 right now. Second quarter just started.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get. Yeah, I thought with Mendoza, let's see here. Here's what we know 100%. We don't know anything. Yeah, that's always how it works. Oh, with the draft, I feel like it's such a gamble. You take the most surefire pick that goes number 1 overall and they don't pan out. And then you take a guy, I don't know, let's say Jackson Dart, who had a really good rookie season. I mean, I get the Giants traded back into the first round to take him, but he wasn't a top 5 pick. It's such a gamble that you don't know what's going to happen with these guys. It's all about who they're around. It's all about their environment, their support system, their coaching, and that's so much of what it is. So with the Raiders, that's another point to why Mendoza probably won't, or maybe won't work out.
It's all about who you're with. It's all about, the system. Like they can't put him in a system like Jackson Dart was running. Like he is a pocket passing quarterback. He can run a little bit. It's all about the offensive line, the head coach. Like I don't know. I think that he'll be fine in the NFL. He's got the size, he's got the stature. He's 6'5", like 220, something like that. Like, and you know what? Similar to Indiana, it took him a while to continue to evolve. He had to bake a little bit. He had to become a little bit. This kid wasn't a kid that anyone thought would be a number 1 overall draft pick coming out of high school, even coming out of Cal. And I think he's a student of the game. I saw a video of him talking to Urban Meyer, Mark Ingram, and somebody else about like coverage that he saw in the game and how he had to layer his throw to get the ball in behind the corner and under the safety. He just seems like a film study guy. He seems like a smart kid. And you know what? If he goes to Vegas, I joked, I said this on the fan, he's the perfect kid to put in Vegas. He doesn't know anything about a strip club. Yeah. He doesn't know anything about a casino. He doesn't know anything about nightlife bars. He seems like a really good kid. Good, stay that way. Put him out there in Vegas and let him stick to just football.
Keith, we're talking about some of the NFL stuff now with Mendoza transitioning. Sean McDermott is the talk of the town today. Got fired from Buffalo after 9 seasons. Where do you stand on that? Do you think it was time? Do you think the Bills should have retained their head coach?
Yeah, I think it was kind of crazy that he came out, I'm standing up for Buffalo, and he was, talking about the officiating and the Brandon Cooks call not being reviewed, and then they fired his ass. And then on top of that, they put out a statement today that just was so Bush League and like how do you have a typo? The first sentence, Sean has done an admirable job. Like who wrote that, bro? Who's working for y'all? College educated people? Because like anybody would catch that first sentence and be like, admirable. Like anyway, but it's one of those things now. We live in this world like, bro, the Ravens fired John Harbaugh. Like we live in this world now of what have you done for me lately? And if it's not win a championship, it's not good enough. And I mean, look at your Knicks. Like they kicked the guy to the curb that basically rebirthed them, but couldn't get it done. And people don't have patience to say maybe next year. McDermott had enough maybe next year's. Honestly, they should have fired Josh Allen. Josh Allen sucked in that game, and I told y'all he was going to be trash. And you know what? He weeped after the game, so people had sympathy for him. Miss me with that, bro. It's football. You make $40 million a year to play quarterback. You turning the ball over before the half and to start the half. That's why they're crying. He was crying, him and Deion Dawkins. They were crying because they gave the damn game away. You don't deserve to turn the ball over 5 times. So you also cost your coach's job. Good luck finding a coach. Good luck finding anybody that can turn Josh Allen into a non-turnover machine. That's all he does. I called that shit. If you saw,
I think I did see you on Instagram.
I read the whole story. I said, okay, 1 or 2 of these things are going to happen, and they all happened. I was like, he's going to have a costly fumble, a costly interception. He's going to miss a wide open receiver, and Joe Brady's going to have to call a hook and ladder to save the day. Ding, 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 ding. All of it happened.
I swear the hook and ladder works at like a ridiculous rate. It's like 95% success.
They did it against the Texans?
No, the Eagles in like week 17.
They did it against the Eagles?
They almost came back. That was the game they had the 2-point conversion to win, but Josh Allen missed his guy in the back of the end zone.
Right. He does it all the time.
Yeah, it's all the time. The other thing with the crying is not only is it you're playing football, a child's game, but it's work. Like, do you see someone working in finance crying after they made a big trade? No.
You know what? Not after they make a big trade. It's like after they fail, after you get fired, after like basically, it's like your job just ended tonight because you didn't get the job done. What are you crying about? Be a man. It was a mix of emotions. I think part of it, they were crying because they felt like they got hosed. They felt like they got jobbed by the officials, but also they were crying because they knew they did not show up. They did not do enough, like in overtime. And it got to the point where, hey, I always call out the NFL for being bogus, but I was like, all right, we got to wrap this up now, yo. We got to get to Seattle. Josh Allen had his chances, and Fernando Mendoza's had his chances here too. Miami's holding tough, man. I don't like this.
That defense is where Miami's got to lean on. I mean, their pass rush is so strong. I know their corners are banged up, but if their front seven can get after Mendoza, which they've done a solid job at tonight, I think they're going to be in the game. But getting back to the Bills, I mean, I thought that Brandon Cooks interception, the throw where the Denver corner was like rolled over Cooks and took it away from him, I thought it was an interception. I know there was a lot of hate on that.
It was. It was an interception
of the ball. It was always 50-50. And by the way, 848-305-8073 is the number to call in. Get on the line. Come talk to Keith and I. We're talking football right now. I'm sure we'll get to baseball at some point in the night. We talked a little NBA already. Maybe we'll circle back to that. But we're watching Indiana and Miami in the Natty. 12 minutes to go in the second quarter. 3-0. Indiana leads it. They've got the ball. It's a 3rd and 1. They're right around midfield. I got to turn these notifications off. I don't know. Let me go on... Whatever. We'll get back to that later. Let's see. Miami, Indiana. That's a first down. First down, Hoosiers. Their rushing attack has been good again tonight. That's where they've been able to lean on the rush when the pass maybe isn't there. They did it in the Rose Bowl against Alabama. So much of that game was attacking the Crimson Tide on the ground. And they're doing it again early here.
Yeah, you're a little bit ahead of me. I just saw it 3rd and 1 up the middle to keep the chains moving. I'm always looking at where they are on the field. Shout to Kaylon Black, former JMU running back that came over with Kurt Signetti. I'm always looking at, as a former football player, down in distance, where they are in the field, how much time we have, how many timeouts they have. They got to go get another touchdown, or they got to go get a touchdown, another score here. Not a field goal, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. Like they need to go up double digits. They need to be up 10-0, and they need to score a touchdown on this drive. Enough already. Like I told people that they would beat them by 17. I was like, they're gonna double the spread. They would beat them by 15, 16 points. I think the spread was 8.5, and it dropped to 7.5 because money started really coming in on Miami.
And I think the longer you keep Miami in this game, the more susceptible you are to Miami having a big turnover here and Carson Beck just slinging one downfield. And suddenly Miami has a lead in the blink of an eye. So yeah, they got to put some more points on the board here. But yeah, man, I mean, what do you think about the Dolphins? Because they took John Eric Sullivan from the Packers a couple weeks ago, and then he brought over Jeff Hafley to be the head coach, defensive coordinator of the Packers. I mean, you think Miami moved away from Tua? Do you think they bring in a whole new era, just completely restart? Or do you think they keep Tua? No, I mean...
No, I think it's over. I mean, I know they owe him a lot of money, but like... And I also know Mike McDaniel is the one who made the decision to bench him, but like, what else do you need to see from Tua? He's small. He's inaccurate. He turns the ball over. If he doesn't have all day to throw, he can't make the throws. And it's just not it. You know, they drafted him high, so they ended up paying him. But I think a new regime is going to come in here and want to do their own thing. Maybe they keep him on the roster because of what the dead cap would be. But like, you can't sell me on like just start next year with Tua as your quarterback. You got to try and either draft one or make a move for one. Go ahead and trade for Lamar. Go ahead and trade for Joe Burrow. I don't think they can, but you know, those type of rumors are out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the guy, and it's not going to happen this offseason, but the team that would be willing to break everything down is the Bengals. I think I could see Joe Burrow wanting out after next year. And then they trade Burrow. And then after that, it's going to be Jamar Chase, T. Higgins are both going to want out. And that's a spot where one of the New York teams, maybe the Giants could swoop in and pick up Jamar Chase. Imagine Neighbors and Chase on the outside. I mean, if they were to do that right now, I think Justin Jefferson is potentially available. You're going to have to pay a ton for him. But if the Giants could trade for Justin Jefferson, I use Chase and Jefferson interchangeably. I know they're on different teams, but like same idea, same kind of receivers. Justin Jefferson and Malik Neighbors on the outside with Jackson Dart throwing to them, I'll be sick.
Yeah, Malik Neighbors is rehabbing his ACL, and he's still talking about, I just want the ball. This is a number one receiver that when he comes back, he doesn't want to share receptions with other people. He doesn't want to share the wealth with other people. He's already going to have to share with Scat and Dart. They got to get him healthy. And they got to get him and Todd Monken's offense where it is Jackson Dart and he's looking for him all day, every day. I don't know the timeline for Malik Neighbors. He will not be ready, I don't believe, by week 1. And I like with those ACLs, more and more people are saying, hey, slow your roll. More and more people are like, there's no reason to rush. But yeah, I think the Giants need to draft a wide receiver with that top pick. Take the best receiver. Watch the combine, pro day, and take the best receiver there. And nobody's going to fault you for taking the best receiver, especially with Malik Neighbors hurt.
You could do that and risk that receiver not working out in the league, or you could trade that 5th overall pick and maybe
trade back
a couple of years, and then go get Justin Jefferson.
Bro, if anybody wants to trade back with the Giants, you trade back.
Why though? I mean, you're gonna get picks. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to taking a wide receiver at 5th. I'm gonna pull up Tankathon now.
Carnell Tate.
That's what I thought it was. I wasn't sure if it shifted over the past couple of weeks at Ohio State. I watched some of his film.
Or Jordan Tyson, because now Tankathon has Carnell Tate going to the Titans. But the Titans have
weeks ago it was Carnell Tate. But it shifts so often.
The Titans have Chimere Dike. The Titans. I think they have more problems than wide receiver. I think that they can figure that out later in the draft. I think they probably need offensive linemen. I think they could use somebody else on their defense. I don't know if they're going wide receiver first pick. I really liked Chimere Dike this year. He came out of nowhere this year as a rookie and he balled.
Yeah, he was solid. I don't know. I didn't watch a ton of Titans football. I watched Cam Ward a couple of times to see what the Titans got out of him. But like you said, there's bigger problems there. They need a head coach first. They need to fortify everything before you start worrying about.
Yeah, and start in the trenches. They also have Alamar. So you have two rookie receivers that played with your rookie quarterback and did pretty well. You don't need to draft another rookie there, not at 4. I thought for a while I'm taking Reuben Bain Jr., but I guess now he's 3 overall going to the Cardinals. Then who's the first tackle? Spencer Fano out of Utah? Take a tackle. Get somebody to protect Cam Ward.
Yeah, the offensive line cannot be understated in the NFL draft. We saw it last year with Will Campbell and the Patriots. I mean, that franchise is completely turned around now. I know a lot of it has to do with Mike Vrabel and Drake May, of course, but it can't hurt to have Cam Ward's blind side protected. Let's go to the chat. I might have missed it, but you guys are going to be at Bleaker Cards, right? Of course, we're going to be there next Saturday. What is it, 2 to 5, I believe? 96 Christopher. You're forgetting Robinson quietly had 1,000-yard season. Yeah, but that's because the Giants had to force feed him the ball. They weren't going to throw to Slayton. They weren't going to throw to Theo Johnson so much. It was Wan'Dale Robinson or nothing.
So how much you guys paying Wan'Dale Robinson to come back? What's the contract for Wan'Dale Robinson? You got to pay him more than you just paid Darius Slayton. That was a mistake.
That was a crazy mistake. You chose Slayton over Saquon. I mean,
to think that the same contract for Slayton could have gave you Saquon, that's just crazy. And to think that Joe Shane is still employed by the New York Football Giants is also crazy.
That's where I was going next, because Joe Shane chose the combination of Darius Slayton and Daniel Jones over Saquon Barkley. He's just missed on so many moves. And when you fire the head coach, I figured the Giants would have waited it out until the end of the season.
Let's go IU. Sorry. Kalen Black, former James Madison running back, gashes them up the middle inside the 20.
Oh, now I'm seeing it. Yeah, that's a big time run.
Or maybe inside the 25. Let's take this.
25. Yeah, now they're inside the 20 after the next play.
Got it.
But what I was thinking is that the Giants were going to wait to the end of the season to fire Shane after they fired Daboll midseason. It's not too often you see both the head coach and the GM get fired mid-year. But then when they announced they're keeping Joe Shane, I was like, man, I don't like it. He made so many poor decisions. He didn't draft too well. Jackson Dart was a Brian Daboll pick. Remember,
100%.
Joe Shane was hyping up Cam Ward. He wanted Ward. Let's see, we got chats.
Maybe even wanted Shador Sanders.
No, it was either Ward or Sanders. I forget what it was.
It was definitely Ward. He tried to trade for Cam Ward. Touchdown. What did I say previously? If you were watching the stream, I said they got to go down and score a touchdown. First touchdown of the game. They got to make it 10-0. And then you'll feel like they're in the driver's seat going into the half. There's still 8 minutes going into the half, but IU right there, they just big boyed him. They just ran the ball hard. Oh, he stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, I think
he stepped out of bounds. That's a tough run, but he stepped out of bounds.
That's out of bounds. But here we go in the chat. Evans and Pickens are free agents. Mike Evans, I'm a little bit out on. He's getting up there in age. I think he's going to want too much. But
He'll never leave Tampa. He'll never leave Tampa.
George Pickens, he's too much. He wouldn't play well with the New York media and all his antics. You don't want George Pickens. No, it's too much with him. Jerry will pay him. Yeah, that too. I would rather wait and trade for one of these more fortified, respected guys around the league. I think they keep Wandale, though. I honestly do think they will pay Wandale. They'll have the money to, and I think he's got a relationship with Jackson Dart, and they're gonna want Jackson Dart's leading receiver back in year 2 just for the rapport. I think they're gonna pay him. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Joe Shane's free agent moves have not been that great. So, no, wasn't it like when they were finalizing that Harbaugh contract? Like, I don't know if it was real or not, but I read that Harbaugh wanted Shane to take like a step back in terms of power. Of course. And that was like one of the big holdups of the contract. And why it took so long. John Harbaugh is not coming here and reporting to Joe Shane for what? That makes no sense. What have you done in the NFL? Right. I'm older than you. I have more years of experience than you. There's no world where I take this job to be the head coach of the New York Football Giants and I'm reporting to you. I just watched what you did to Brian Daboll, how you threw him under the bus. Yeah, I mean, I think Harbaugh's the perfect fit. Like, as soon as he became available, and even before he became available, like, I was screaming, give me Harbaugh. Like, he's the best. I think, in my opinion, at least, he's clearly the best head coach on the market, and there's so much talent. Like, this was the perfect time for the Giants to fire Brian Daboll. I think someone was saying why the Jets aren't firing Glenn this year, because there's just so many guys out there that have solid resumes, have done so much in the NFL. Tomlin, Harbaugh, Stefanski's proven himself as a good coach. That's why the Jets have to go after Tomlin. They won't, though, because you brought Aaron Glenn here, and at the time, it was such a good head coach signing. I mean, him and Ben Johnson were probably the top two targets out of head coaches in the. Are you back, Keith? There we go. Now we're back. Your mic is out now. Yeah, I'm trying to adjust my light because I get a glare. See that light? My LED lights. I'm trying to adjust my light. Logo. It's something that you gotta like mess with from time to time. I'm gonna set up my other lights though. I'm gonna set up my colorful lights out here. See, now we're better. Right now, there's no glare on that, so we're good. You gotta get the ambient lighting going in the Mcpherson brand studio. But we're talking about Aaron Glenn and why the Jets won't fire him. You brought Glenn here to do a job. He was such a good signing because him and Ben Johnson were probably the top two coaches on the market last offseason. And now you got to let him go to work. After one season as a rookie head coach, you couldn't have expected the Jets to be good with the roster, with the hand that Aaron Glenn was dealt. You had to expect the Jets to have another bad year. And that's what happened. You can't be mad at it. I get the defense was awful. They didn't have an interception. They're the first team to ever do that. But you just got to see it through for at least one more year.
I disagree. Aaron Glenn is in over his head. He's so bad. Like, here, let's break it down. When Aaron Glenn came in, he was supposed to be somebody that was familiar with the area, the franchise, the fan base, the media, right? He was a first round pick of the Jets. Like, you've been around here. You know what it's like. You were here in the 90s. You were here in the early 2000s. Like, you know what it's like. He came in with this whole bravado of we're the freaking New York Jets and we're built for this. And the first order of business was to push out Aaron Rodgers. Now, I think that had to happen, but the way that he went about it wasn't a good look, especially when your chosen quarterback was Justin Fields and you give Justin Fields $30 million guaranteed to be your guy. He had me fooled. I went on WFAN and I'm like, you guys got to give Justin Fields a chance, right? I'm like, these guys coached against him in the NFC North, right? They had to have seen something to kick Aaron Rodgers to the curb in favor of Justin Fields. They got to have a plan for him. And they did not have a plan for him at all. He struggled. And Tanner Engstrand is your chosen offensive coordinator. And Steve Wilkes is your chosen defensive coordinator, right? So you end up firing him at the end of the year. The defense gets worse. You were a defensive coordinator yourself, Aaron Glenn. Why can't you fix it? Why can't you help? Right? Like, they wanted to play games after Justin Fields wasn't good with who's the starting quarterback going to be? Is it going to be Tyrod? Is it going to be Justin Fields? Aaron Glenn took such a negative, mean, and just like a nasty tone with the media and media members. He went after Rich Cimini, and like, you know, he went after Rich Cimini because Rich Cimini was writing about Garrett Wilson being shut down. I'm sure he got that information from Garrett Wilson, his agent, or somebody on the team. They were trying to be vague about stuff like that. It was just stupid, man. It was a mess. And you can clearly see that Aaron Glenn is in over his head. So what now? Now they're going to draft whom? Tankathon says they're going to draft Arvell Reese. Yeah, that's a safe pick. You need a linebacker. You know, you need a guy like that, but you really need a quarterback. So who's the quarterback of the Jets this year? They're not winning a damn thing. And after they lose again, after they win 3-4 games again, they're just going to fire Glenn next year, and then you're going to miss out on all of these coaches that are out there. The end.
The only thing I'll say for why you should fire Aaron Glenn is because the coaching market is just so good this year. I mean, I don't remember the last time we've seen a year with this many solid head coaches. Reminder, 848-305-8073 is the number to call in at. You could banter with both Keith and I. And yeah, I mean,
I don't give a damn who his mentor is. He's not Parcells. He's not Sean Payton. He's not Dan Campbell. And he always wanted to mention what the Lions did and how we did this with the Lions. No, you didn't. Not you. You were part of it. But Dan Campbell was the head coach. I'm telling you guys, what have you seen? Remember that London game? And I'm watching touchdown get scored. Remember touchdown IU, they're about to go up 10-0. Remember the London game against the Broncos and how they had no idea what they wanted to do before the half. They just folded and let the clock roll out. Like, I was like, they let the clock run out. I'm like, this is the NFL. This is the only game on. The world is watching. That is so pathetic. You don't know what to do, coach. You're just trying to just let the clock run out. We'll get to halftime. Fired. Fire you on the spot. Fire you on the freaking spot.
Brian, the number is 848-305-8073. Come on down. That was bad. I remember that London game that you're talking about it.
I mean, there were other laughable things. The Tampa game when Will McDonald returned that block kickback, and then he starts, hey, he's dancing down the sidelines, hitting his juck and jive, and it's like, bro, you're in Tampa. Did you not watch film on Baker Mayfield the last couple weeks? This is what he does. There's way too much time. You're gonna lose. You didn't win anything, and then after they lose, he's like this. Clapping it up. Get out of here, bro. This is the NFL. They fired John Harbaugh this year. They fired Sean McDermott this year. Like, and this guy is going to keep his job because you got to see it through another year. I get it. I understand the narrative too around firing a black coach after year one. It's happened a few times. They don't want to be the next to do it. But like, I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're as purple as my JMU shirt. You got to get it done.
Here we go, Keith. Another call. What's going on, man? What's your name and where are you from?
What's going on, fellas? My name is Brian from Monmouth County, New Jersey.
All right, Brian, hit us.
All right, so you guys were talking. What's up, Keith?
What's up?
I'm the McClunes guy, by the way.
Oh, what's up, Brian?
So you guys
At Brian Yanks is the same Brian from McClunes. Awesome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Monmouth
Cool.
County guy, Aberdeen, New Jersey, et cetera, et cetera. Loving that Indiana's winning. Honestly, this is the first time I've ever called into any kind of show. So I remember listening to you.
Ding, 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 ding. First time, not a long time.
First time, long time, not a long time with this one, but I appreciate you guys. I'm looking forward to working with you in the future, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not a big Jets fan. I mentioned Parcells. I think I can see both sides of firing Glenn. I get it. It didn't go well, but you got to let him run it back. It's not a desirable job, and nobody's gonna take it without a quarterback. So we can argue this, that, and the other, but if they don't have a quarterback, nobody wants that job, and nobody's going to succeed. What do you
Greatest point you could make, Brian, is it's not a desirable job if you fire this guy. They fired Rob Saleh after 5 weeks last week. If you fire Aaron Glenn, anybody that takes that job knows it's all uphill. They're dead men walking, and it's not going to be an easy job, and it might be one and done for them too. So you're right. You're right. The precedent, the principle.
And same thing. Suddenly Saleh's back up for a job again. Todd Bowles, they wanted out. Now it's, Tampa going to hang on to him. But while we're watching this national championship, bringing it back to the Giants, the draft, the wide receiving core, I can see both sides with firing Shane, hanging on to him. What do you do at number 5? I agree. You trade back. There are free agents out there. You can get like a Rashid Shaheed on the cheap. You get Neighbors back in week 4. Wandale did a good enough job. I mean, Chris, if you go to a game and you see him, he's such a little guy, but he made a difference with such a weak offense. But
no, yeah,
back, you bring it. Go ahead.
I like Wandale's game. I just want to see what the price tag is on him and what they're willing to pay him, or what, because like somebody else is going to bid too. I think he's most important to the team. Tiki Barber always says nobody loves you like your mama. The team that drafts you, nobody loves you like your mama. He's going to want to stay a Giant, I think, as well. But it depends what it costs. And yeah, trade back if Joe Shane can work the phones, right? Trade back, and somebody might have their eye on a Cardinal Tate or a Jordan Tyson or a Spencer Fawano. Somebody might want that first tackle off the board, and if you can trade back and stockpile picks, do it.
I'm looking at the list right now, Keith.
Yeah, and
You go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm looking at the list right now. I'm not too sure. I mean, maybe the Saints want to move forward with Tyler Shuck and protect him. Maybe the Chiefs want to bring another offensive lineman for Mahomes. I'm just not sure if there's going to be anyone willing to trade back.
Yeah, but we're so far out. What I'll say is the combine and the pro days change that, because one team is going to fall in love with a guy. They're going to have a meeting with him. They're going to watch his pro day come. They're going to be like, he's our guy. And if the Giants are open for business and taking calls and they know they can trade up and get him at 5, then they'll get it done at 5.
And I'm also in the mindset of, you're right there. You have the pieces. You get a Cam back. Tracy has done a nice job. You see what Jackson does, and with the leadership of Harbaugh, you develop them. A lot of people freak out with, he takes hits, this, that, the other. I like having that kind of quarterback back there. The NFL has changed. It's a different
and John Harbaugh just coached Lamar Jackson, and Lamar Jackson doesn't take hits. So whatever he was telling Lamar in those meetings, whatever Todd Monken was telling Lamar in those meetings, they'll relay the message to Jackson Dart. He'll get down, and also, he shouldn't be playing from behind as much. He shouldn't be feeling like he has to be Superman as much when they get better talent around him.
Yeah, but was Lamar
taking
those hits in college?
That's the interesting thing, they weren't playing.
No.
A lot of times they weren't playing from behind. They were just blowing leads.
That too. It wasn't that they were down trying to catch up. It's just like, they were fighting for their lives to stay in it once the defense gave it up.
Yeah, couldn't stop the bleeding.
And nobody touched Lamar in college. I watched his whole season at Louisville. He was shaking guys out of their shoes. Nobody could lay a good hit on him.
That's the difference, though. Lamar already was conditioned to not take hits. Dart, you got to get through to him.
And Lamar's a freak. Like Jackson Dart is athletic, but Lamar Jackson is like he's so shifty and quick. Like he makes defenders look stupid. They can't square him up. They can't line him up. Some of those guys line Dart up. They put some good hits on Dart this year.
There was the Patriots game is the one I always go back to when he got.
Oh yeah, kid from Utah.
Yeah, that was a nice hit. All right, Brian, we thank you for your call. And let's keep it moving here. More calls, hopefully. 848-305-8073. The number to do it. As Indiana, we're still watching that game. All right, do I hit
Christian Ellis? Christian Ellis lined him up on the sideline and tried to knock him into Connecticut. Jackson Dart should have stepped out.
No reason. He should have stepped out. It was a completely illegal hit. And the Giants had so many issues. Like their players. Appreciate the call, fellas. Appreciate you calling in, Brian. But yeah, let's get back.
Yeah, shout out to Brian, man. Appreciate Brian tapping in, who is the general manager at McClune's, runs the place. Maybe he has some stake and equity in owning the place, because I saw Fist Bump Dad was like, does Brian own McClune's? He knows the owner. And yeah, I look forward to popping into McClune's next time I'm back home down the Jersey Shore area.
All right, man. I mean, we're talking a little NFL right now, talking some Giants, talking some Jets. Should Aaron Glenn have been fired? Where are the Giants going moving forward? What do they do in the draft? I mean, right now, I think the immediate area of need is wide receiver, which is why I'm thinking you take that wide out. But I could see them going defensively, because the defense was just atrocious this year. That was their biggest weakness, and you're only as strong as your weakest link. So if you want to shore up that the secondary, maybe you take a safety, maybe you take a linebacker. I know what is his name, Arvell Reese is probably going to be gone before you get your pick. That the Giants were projected to take Reese while they were up there first overall, second overall for a while, but it's just not. It wasn't good last year. The defense was so bad, and I don't think one draft pick is going to do enough to change it. You're going to need a complete overhaul in free agency. Maybe you make a trade. So where do you think the Giants go defensively?
Their D-line is set. They need another linebacker. Like, low-key, not having Micah McFadden for most of the year, that hurt them quietly. They got to figure out their corner on the other side of Paulson Adebo. Deontay Banks can't cut it. You need a lockdown, shutdown corner. You need somebody that can actually play the position and you feel good about. Cordell Flott was good at times, but he's small. Drew Phillips is tough, but he's small too, and he's a nickel. They need an outside corner. They need somebody that they can put out there at corner on the other side of Paulson Adebo and feel good about him locking guys down and coming up and making tackles. You got Tyler Nubin. You got Javon Holland. Maybe you try to draft another safety if you're not really feeling Nubin. I've watched Nubin get run by in coverage and get run by in trying to tackle guys. I think linebacker and corner. I think they need to find a middle linebacker and a corner. What's Bobby Okereke's contract? I'm sure he's got another year.
He'll be coming back. I feel like I would have heard at this point if he's done in New York.
This is his final year. 4-year, $40 million. This is his final year. Still draft somebody.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind taking someone in the draft, second, third round. I would use that high of a pick on them too, because it's so important. Like you're going to have the offense. And right now what I'm thinking for the Giants is you lean on your offense. You make every game a track meet, sort of what the Dallas Cowboys tried to do this year, where you had to score 1 million points if you were going to beat them. Because with Jackson Dart, with Malik Neighbors coming back, I don't know what Scat is going to give you. Maybe you do make a trade and pull the trigger for another receiver. The offense is going to be better, no doubt. But maybe the defense can get a stop here, a stop there. Everything's going to be a track meet, though. In this Indiana game, 10-0 Indy, still minute 20 to go in the first half. Miami's driving, though. They're in plus territory. It's fourth down now.
Tick, 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 tick. They're gonna end up settling for 3.
Out there?
It's fourth down. They're gonna go for this right now. You're probably a little ahead of me.
4th and 2.
Just take the 3. I would just kick the field goal.
Field goal range, though. I don't know.
Oh no, they're not. This is college. They're not.
But yeah, I know. I always have to make that adjustment.
Yeah, and in the NFL, these guys can kick the ball 55,
Right.
65 yards.
Dolphins tried that track meet. It has to be perfect and no injuries. At least you can win in the cold in New York. Yeah, you always have that going. Indy should have called a timeout. Instead, it's going to be Mario Cristobal pulling the trigger with 38 seconds on a 4th and 2. He'll talk it over with Carson Beck and his guys, see where they go. Keith, it's so funny how you say I'm ahead of you, because every time I do one of these streams, I'm so behind everyone.
You know what it is, bro? I'm watching on my phone because I have Fubo TV, and I have a monitor here which I can pull Fubo up on. But when I go to specifically ESPN, Disney, which did a deal with Fubo, they have some built-in blocker where they can see that I'm trying to stream on a monitor. And it says your current video setup is not permitted. Try disconnecting the external monitor. I'm not disconnecting the external monitor. I'd like to watch it on the big screen over here, but I can't do that. So
I know I brought like a TV box down here to the studio today. So now I'm not doing like the DirecTV stream nonsense. They are going to kick the field goal. Good with plenty of
they're going to attempt the field goal. How did they say how deep it was?
Off the goalpost.
Oh.
It had plenty of leg too.
I mean, they're in their home stadium. He's kicked in there for months, but no good.
33
no
seconds.
good.
Mendoza has plenty of time also. 2 timeouts, pretty close to midfield. A couple.
Watch Kurt Signetti run the ball. I guarantee it. They're not going to try and get anything. Kurt Signetti's going to be content with the 10-point lead. They're covering the spread. Look at this. Doink. These people are sick. These people are sick in Miami. They paid $5,000 to sit in there.
Man,
Goose egg.
Huge.
Goose egg in the first half for the Hurricanes. The big bad Hurricanes. No BTA tonight, Mike Irvin. Keep that belt on your pant loops. Keep that belt on your pant loops, Unk. We will not be seeing no BTA tonight. Watch. Run the ball. They're just going to run the ball. Doop.
Sense though, man. The NFL, maybe I'm conditioned watching the NFL and they would absolutely try to get in field goal range. But even in college, it feels like there's still time. 33 seconds and 2 timeouts. Seems like plenty. Indy gets the ball to start the second half. They could go up 20. Oh, if
they're not going to try.
Was throwing. They got it at midfield. No, that's it though. Well, clock stops at 3. They're going to put up a Hail Mary probably. No,
I'm getting into the locker room. I'm talking strategy, adjustment. Okay, no, Kurt's calling timeout. He is trying to advance the ball.
Why wouldn't he call? Why? That makes no sense. Why he would run the ball and then throw a pass and then?
I guess he changed his mind because the run got a good amount of yards.
It didn't feel like they hustled to the line either, though.
He felt like I don't know. They got a good amount of yards on the run and a good amount of yards on the throw, and their kicker is right there. He's not taking no warm-up kicks.
Well, at this point, they're not kicking from
his season long is a 58. Just go into the locker room. It's a wrap. Just go in the locker room, yo.
Throw the Hail Mary. Why not?
Because it does. You're up 10-0. You're up 2 scores. You're going into the half up 2 scores. You're up 10 points. You're
the likelihood of them throwing a pick 6, like the Jets did a couple of years back on Black Friday, is so
that was hilarious.
Yes.
That was Javon Holland. Speaking of Javon Holland, that's Javon Holland with the Dolphins.
We're talking about the Jets' dysfunctional moments this season. You can throw it back a couple of years for that one.
The Jets always find a way to suck.
Every year.
They just always find a way to be terrible.
Indiana stacks on the right side of the field. Miami brings a lot of pressure. Mendoza steps up in the pocket, flings it. Might have been picked off. It doesn't matter if he got his foot down or not. Halftime, 10-0. Indy leads it. Not the dominant first quarter we were envisioning for the Hoosiers.
But hey, I told multiple people they'll beat them. They'll double the spread. The spread was 7.5. Let's say they win 17-0. You know, like Miami played a close game with Texas Tech or Texas A&M. I knew they can't rock with I knew they weren't be able to rock with these boys, bro. Their defense has done a decent enough job, but it's IU, bro. IU's gonna win this game.
Their defense was how they got to this point. I mean, the pass rush in both the Ohio State and Ole Miss game it's iced the game for them. It was they getting after Trinidad Chambliss, getting after Julian Say, making those guys uncomfortable in the pocket. That's how they won. That's how they got here. But Indiana's offensive line is just so good. Trust me. What are we trusting you on, Chase? What are we trusting you on? Eight four eight 305.
All right, I'm gonna get some water and I'm gonna switch my vibe up in here.
All right, Keith will be back in a minute. Still rocking with me on the Sports Pod. Good first half. How we feeling, chat? We got 9 in here right now. Just about the 2-hour mark of this stream. Let's see. What haven't we hit on yet? Maybe we'll get into some baseball. We haven't done the baseball conversation yet. So maybe we'll get into that once Keith gets back. But overall, I think solid first half for both teams. I mean, Indiana is winning. AJ Bianco, you guys are killing it. Appreciate you. Drop a subscribe. I know you're a big fan of Keith. Baseball's coming up. Don't worry. We got the MLB sign in the background. Don't worry. It's coming up. We got what? We're under 40 days till pitchers and catchers. Probably getting closer to 30 at this point. About a month away. Still so much to be done in this offseason for both New York teams. But, I mean, baseball's broken right now, man. The Dodgers, they run everything. That's the problem. And that's that. So we'll wait till Keith gets back to really delve into the baseball. And what I was saying is, as much as Miami's losing by double digits right now, they're not out of the game. It doesn't feel like Indiana's dominated the way they have this season, the way they did last week against Oregon, picking off Dante Moore in the first play, scoring so early on into that game. That's where Indiana's lived this year. They've jumped out to real early leads and just dominated the rest of the game. Mario Cristobal and Carson Beck and Miami is still in this game. I subscribe. Proud of you. My 13-year-old is watching with me and is interested in what you're doing. Absolutely appreciate it, man. This is what we do. I think I started doing this when I was 13, I think. So let them know. Start them early. That's what it is. But yeah, we're not going anywhere. It's been a good half engagement wise. Like I said, I'm going to keep plugging the number 848-305-8073. If you want to call in, it's on the screen as well. We hit on the basketball. The Knicks are not good enough right now. If you're interested in the Nets, they're down 13 against the Phoenix Suns. 3.5 minutes to go in the third quarter in that game. Chase Ballion showing love to AJ in the chat. Keith looks like he's almost back and ready to go. So we'll bring him back up here. In just a second. Looks like he's switching up his lighting here. Man, it feels like I think I've said it before on this stream, but it feels like the college football playoffs have just been going forever. Like, it's been since the start of December, where I feel like everything has been college football playoffs. Oh, Indiana, Ohio State. They need to consolidate the timing of this bracket. Next year, the final is going to be played on Monday, January 25th. Oh, about a week later than it is this year, which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Ohio State had like 27 or so days off between the Big Ten championship and their first game of the college football playoff. They have to find a way to eliminate some of the bye weeks. It's just too much. As Keith is back, Keith, we're talking about how the college football playoff, it's too much, the time between games.
They don't care. It's about TV. It's about it's all about money. It's all about the TV schedule and when to maximize it. They're playing national championship on the Monday night, January 9th, Martin Luther King Day. Like, there's nothing else on. They don't care about the layoff for these kids.
They're playing it on the 25th next year is the final. It's going to go another week. Ohio State had, it's really screwing over those teams that get the first round bye. They're having nearly a month of time between conference championships and the CFP quarterfinals. It's just too long.
They don't care. They go practice against each other, scrimmage. It's all about Okay, they expanded the playoff. That's about money too. And it's about TV. They make a ton of money with ESPN and these games. I mean, weren't some of the games on Turner, TBS in the first round?
Yeah, I think like Tulane Ole Miss was a TNT.
Yeah, that's a money grab. That's all.
Right.
That's all money grab.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I like we're in this conversation. I think everything ties into the NIL and the money and the transfer portal. It's gotten to a point where it's too much. But like, if you're a player like you were, you have to be loving it because you're taking advantage of what's out there for you. You're reviewing your.
I love it for these kids. I love it for these kids. I try to peel back a layer recently about it because, people think it's just the kids making the money. Some of these kids are investing that money. Some of these kids are putting this money away. Some of these kids are saving this money, but also some of these kids are able to change their families' lives. Some of these kids come from poverty where if they're getting $1 million for NIL and they can send $100,000 back to the hood, it's amazing. It's glorious off of what you did in high school, off of what you did they should, because what's crazy too? It costs $900 to park at Hard Rock Stadium tonight. The cheapest tickets to get in were like $4,000. So imagine we weren't in the NIL era, and that's what it costs you. It costs you $5,000 to go see these kids play, and these kids aren't getting a cut of that. So I love it. I as a former college football player that didn't make any money, and some of my homies were happy when they got their Pell Grant. And there was a little bit left over from their Pell Grant that they could keep, like $2,000, $3,000, and they could send that home to mom. Okay, imagine being able to send your mom $200,000, $300,000. It's nuts.
I think it's good to a point. Like some of these kids have crossed the line, whether it's Carson Beck playing his 7th year of college football, like Trinidad Chambliss trying to get a 6th year. Like it's too much. Just call it quits and go to the NFL already. But it is good for the guys who are actually using it the right way and not just using it as a money grab and to make money in college before they go to the NFL. And also it's going to be an adjustment for them because the guys that are making, the guys that are making top dollar in college football right now are also going to be the rookies that are making the most amount of money. But some of these guys who are making like nearly $1 million, and then they're going to go to the NFL next year, they're going to be on rookie contracts. I feel like some of them might not be making they might be making more in college than they will. Yeah,
Shedeur Sanders made more money at Colorado than he did with the Browns this year. But I mean, he was born rich. Like you mentioned Trinidad Chambliss, though. I feel bad for him. I wish he could go back. I hope that supposedly they're suing the NCAA and they're fighting for a 6-year. I hope that they're able to get it for this kid because he will be big man on campus. He'll be in the Heisman discussion. Ole Miss will be one of the favorites to win the national championship, and he'll have a line of girls at his college house every day. Every day he comes home, he'll have a line of chicks down the road.
But don't you think at this point for him, if he declared for the draft, with how diluted the draft class is in terms of quarterback this year, I mean, Ty Simpson is the second rated guy. He's Ty Simpson. Like he's not all that. Wouldn't Trinidad Chambliss' draft stock be so much higher than next year when he's have to go against Dante Moore and Arch Manning and all those guys?
No, go prove it again. Go do it again. I honestly think Trinidad Chambliss is he doesn't have the size and stature that you want of a quarterback. Like he doesn't have the measurables. He's a hell of a ball player, but when they size him up to draft him and invest in him, they're going to say he's too short. He's too light. We don't know. And if you're a real competitor, you're not worried about Archie Manning. You're not worried about Sellers. You're not worried about what's the kid that DJ Lagway. You're not worried about there's a bunch of these kids coming next year. Mateer from Oklahoma, or now Dante Moore going back. I don't know. If you're a competitor, go compete, go play, go figure it out.
We'll prove it again. That's all it's got to be.
Go prove it. Improve yourself, then go prove yourself every single time. But yeah, Trinidad Chambliss, man, what I love most about this kid, he wasn't supposed to be the guy this year. He was the backup, and the starter got hurt, and he became the guy, and he balled. And I loved his game. They said that he played shortstop. You could see that in his game. I think he played basketball, so he's like shortstop, point guard, quarterback. And I loved how they showed him trying to find his mom. His mom prays on him before every game, and those prayers were working. Keith, you got eligibility. Who would you play for? Shit. If I had to do it all over again, I'm definitely going D1-1. Like I went 1AA, and I mean James Madison is bigger now, but like it's just different. Like I remember not wanting to go. I had offers from Temple University, Buffalo University, and what was the other like 1A school? Oh, Ohio, the Bobcats. And I was like, I don't want to go to Buffalo. I don't want to go to Ohio. I don't want to go to Philly. There's no way. But now if I could play for a team, I would want to go somewhere warm. I growing up, I wanted to play for Florida State so bad. I love Florida State. Miami, they got a ton of money. You want to talk about having girls lined up. You have an apartment in Miami. You got girls in the lobby. They got baddies down there. I mean, Miami's back. I would want to play for Miami, even though they were a rival of Florida State. I wouldn't want to go to Bama. Damn sure wouldn't want to go to Bloomington, Indiana and play for IU. Shout out to Kirk, but I wouldn't want to go there. I'd want to go somewhere warm, sunny, that's got money to pay these players. I think Miami. Would be the spot. If not Miami, Ole Miss is probably cool too. I don't think I'd want to go to Mississippi though.
Yeah.
UF, the Gators, Florida Gators. But you know what too? I want the Northeast to come back. Like when is Rutgers going to be good? When is Penn State going to be good? Even Maryland. Maryland sucks now. Like when are we going to get a team up here that we're like, yeah, like we can rally around? Syracuse, never. UConn, no shot. We don't have any teams. Wombag 123 goes distractions galore. I hear you though. Hey, that was my college experience. I have people that troll me. I just was in the Evan and Tiki chat earlier, and someone said something like, "Oh, you've got experience riding the bench." I'm like, "You damn right. You damn right. I got experience. I had a free ride riding the bench." But when I went to school, temptation was there, and I did all the things I wanted to do but play. Does the money hold kids back from going pro? Does it stop them because they get scared of the pressure? College is safe to them and millions on the line to stay put. I think it depends. I've been around some football players. They're dogs. Like when I say they're dogs, like it's the game that drives them. It's the competition that drives them. It's not the money. It's not they want to be the best on the field. Those guys have nothing to do with that. But like now that you can get a bag here, bag there, like some of these guys, and now that you don't have to sit out a year, that's another thing. I had to sit out a year. I transferred from James Madison University to Monmouth University. I had to sit a year. That doesn't help your development. Doesn't help you get on the field faster. Doesn't make you a better football player just practicing and not playing in games. But now that these guys have the option to get some money here, I don't play. I'm on the bench. I'm going to go somewhere else and get some money. It's the Wild Wild West. And it's not helping a lot of guys. A lot of guys are getting lost in the shuffle. A lot of guys are not going to get to where they're going to go. Listen to Tom Brady when Tom Brady was talking about like, Tom Brady was 7th string his freshman year at Michigan. I was 4th string. Like, you're not going to play. But you develop, you learn, and you grow and you become. Now these guys just want to waltz into college and be the man, and it's tough with the transfer portal. There's only so many schools. Like I just talked about this kid, Josh Hoover. He's leaving TCU. He's going to be a starter at Indiana next year. Like, who's going to be a starter at TCU? I don't know.
Probably got recruited that Max Duggan year too, like somewhere in that era.
Maybe.
The point I was trying to make is like these kids are feeling that security blanket where they're just getting paid millions, where they're going to go to the NFL and they're not going to get as much, so they can ball out in college against competition. They're probably too good for it at this point and make more doing it. If you ask me, it's not a bad deal. For the sake of college football, though, it's probably not the best thing. Let's see.
No, but it is, because it's everything. It's a business. It's entertainment. Yeah. It's about money. At the end of the day, they push back. I remember when they first did, like, there was so many things that went down. Like they first pushed back for like the NCAA football game. Like EA Sports had that NCAA football game for
Right.
years, and then they stopped making it. But like they went to court over that, where they're like, "Yo, you have a video game with Pat White, and this is back when I was in school. Like Pat White from West Virginia was one of the best players, and like he's in the video game, he doesn't get a penny from that. It's the same as Madden, like in a way. If you could change it, would you still have transferred to Monmouth or stayed at JMU? I would have left JMU 10 times out of 10. One, because I met my wife at Monmouth, so like some things are deeper than like playing football, or like I met like the woman I was supposed to marry and have a kid with at Monmouth University, so that was always my destiny. I have no regrets over leaving James Madison University because the writing was on the wall for me. I skipped Hell Day, and I always tell the story. Once I skipped Hell Day, like people were like, "Yo, you skipped Hell Day? You're in trouble." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm leaving. I'm transferring." Who wants to go to Hell Day? I did one Hell Day, and I was like, "I'll never do that again." That you literally go to hell. I don't want to go to hell. You don't want to go to hell. Yeah, you guys remember Pat White from Alabama, went to
my
West
dad.
Virginia.
Virginia alum in the chat.
Bro, Pat White and Slayton and like that team they had, they were beast, bro. And that kid could boogie.
Some early strong value plays to win the title next year. Georgia, LSU, Miami, Florida. Keith, I'll let you take this one. I'm not,
What I like this year is like this is a year where you saw, okay, it's not just Georgia, it's not just Bama. Miami wasn't even supposed to be in. Remember all that? Remember Notre Dame and Notre Dame fans crying, and Notre Dame took their ball and went home. They didn't want to play in a bowl game. Miami's not even supposed to be in it. Like IU, IU is not a blue blood program in basketball. Maybe like. Let's see where some of these top players go. LSU, like I look at LSU with Lane Kiffin. I guess they're going to be good. Miami's going to be good again. Who's transferring into Miami? Let me see. I know they have a quarterback.
I feel like they don't even recruit out of high school anymore. You're just taking from the top D2 talents, whatever, the D2, the FBS school, no, FCS schools, whatever.
No, you're just going into the portal, and there are kids from other like Power 5 conferences that are coming in.
Yeah,
Steve Slayton. Yeah, you remember Pat White and Steve Slayton. Those two were a powerful combo.
New TCU came out of Seton Hall Prep in the chat. Great athletic programs and out of New Jersey, northern New Jersey.
Okay, new TCU quarterback. What's his name?
Not sure.
ChatGPT says Darian Mensah from Duke is the favorite to land at Miami. Miami's also pursuing NC State's CJ Bailey. So like they're literally pursuing other quarterbacks in their conference in the ACC.
And that's where it's like you're gonna jump ship to a school in your conference that you're competing against. Like those are the teams that you're supposed to hate, and that you're supposed to want to go out there and kill them every single time.
All that's done.
Jumping ship because of the money, and that's the problem. Jaden Craig, best Ivy player of time out of Harvard. Where's he going? TCU?
Like Ty Simpson was mocked. I mocked him because he talked about like he's going to the NFL because if he just went to another school, it would ruin what he built at Bama. And I'm like, what did you build, bro? Jalen Milroe built more than you. What are you saying? But like he's leaning into like, I want to come back here and be remembered as, part of the Tide. Like I want to, come back here and say like I didn't take the money to go to Miami. Like Ty Simpson could be Miami's quarterback next year, but like he has some loyalty. Most of these guys don't have loyalty. Right. I said the loyalty is to the almighty dollar, and I understand it. It should be.
That's what I was gonna say. The money kicks the loyalty to the curb. Oregon's only gonna be better with more coming back with something to prove.
Oh,
of
yeah.
course, anytime you can get an experienced guy who's coming back, CFP experience at this point. They won a college football playoff game. Like they're going to be better, of course. Dan Lanning's a real good head coach. I'm sure.
How about Dylan Raiola?
Yeah, out of
like,
Nebraska.
He transferred to Oregon.
Really?
I think he transferred to Oregon thinking, oh, this guy's going to be a.
Yeah.
And so now he's going to sit behind Dante Moore, like Dante Moore sat behind Dylan Gabriel 2 years ago.
Can you
I guess.
one off season? I don't know. Can you hit the portal again?
I don't know. I think once you commit, like if he signed, you can't break that commitment if you sign your letter of intent. But he should, because there's somebody else that could use his services.
Simpson said Miami offered him $6.5 million, but he's still going to the draft. And listen, there's a part of me that respects it, but $6.5 million is $6.5 million
to go to Miami and hang out with Latinas and baddies. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I would be on the first flight. You might find me in Fort Lauderdale or something.
The portal is getting out of hand, but at the same time, it's basically free agency at the college level at this point. Can Raiola redshirt?
I don't think so.
No,
yeah. He burned his red shirt. Didn't he play as a freshman?
Probably. I mean, I don't know. Mini Patrick Mahomes? Probably. Simpson's going to the draft mostly because of the weaker class this year compared to the juggernaut class last year. That's what I was kind of thinking with Chambliss.
Raiola was a freshman last year. He played as a true freshman last year. He burned his red shirt. Can't do it.
Yeah. You redshirted, right?
I did.
Yeah. Take the money, but make sure you wrap up.
So I had and then one day when I'm super successful and I write my book or they make a movie about me and they show, I had a freshman year redshirt at James Madison University as a fourth string quarterback, where I didn't drink in high school because I was straight edge. I was deathly afraid that like I would get in trouble and not make it, like not get to college and not get out of my mom's house. So like I didn't start drinking until my freshman year. So my redshirt freshman year, all I did was party and meet girls and hang out, and like I didn't care about football at all. My redshirt freshman year, that was my true freshman year. My redshirt freshman year, I was third string quarterback, and that's when I realized the second string quarterback, a kid by the name of Drew Dudzik from Virginia, his dad played at JMU. I'm like, wait, your daddy went to school here? His dad's name is on the wall. I'm like, I'm never going to start over this kid. And I'm battling him in practice and I'm trying to be better. And I'm like, even if I'm a little bit better than him, he's going to get the nod. And then I remember Hell Day came around my redshirt freshman year and I skipped Hell Day. And I remember I was chilling with this girl, Kat, in her apartment. And she's like, don't you have to go to? I'm like, nah. And so I end up talking to my coach and I was like, I'm transferring. So then I leave and I left where like I missed the cutoff to join Monmouth University, and I did like a spring semester in Brookdale Community College. Then I started my transfer year where like before the transfer portal, you had to sit out a year. So what would have been my red shirt sophomore year, I sat out. Like it sucked. It's like you practice and you lift and you do everything, but you can't play. So even if you're balling in practice, which I had plenty of times balling in practice, you can't play, whatever. That also doesn't help you off the field because you know you can't play, still partying, still messing around, still doing things. My red shirt junior year, going into that year, I was at the bar, 21. God bless my brother, rest in peace. But my brother knows we got into a fight, not a real fight, but like a wrestling match. Like you always fight. And my brother pushed me off a curb and I legit broke my foot. May 1st, that night, I broke my foot going into my redshirt junior season at Monmouth University, where I switched positions because I was trying to get on the field. I probably would have been the fourth receiver. Probably would have been the fourth receiver on the team. I come into camp, I can't run. I can't play. Can't play. So then what would have been my redshirt senior year, Chris Hogan transfers in. You guys are familiar with Chris Hogan. Chris Hogan transfers in from Penn State. There's this kid on my team named Jose Gums. The year before, John Nalbone got drafted to the NFL. Like we actually have some NFL talent at Monmouth. Those two guys go on to the NFL. I remember working out with them, and I just remember thinking, I'm like, I don't want to play. I'm like, I'm not going to the NFL with you guys. And I'm like, I am now starting to get deep in my major, which is communication, radio, and television, where I'm starting to be known more for being on Hawk TV, WMCX 88.9 FM on campus. And now I'm 21. I am DJing, emceeing, and promoting all of the nightlife bars that like go on at our college, from the Avenue to Draft House to Stingers. Like, I am like the number one like DJ MC promoter. I gave my scholarship back. Unheard of. Nobody's ever done it. I gave my scholarship back. I took out loans. I went to summer school and I graduated and I finished and I just was done. So you guys stay tuned. Give me another like few years to keep making it big. When they write my book or do my my Lifetime movie, all that will be depicted in the movie or read in the book. All right, face mask.
It's definitely.
Well, you heard early in the game, they told you Miami's the most penalized team. They're undisciplined.
That's what I was talking about earlier.
And they're dirty. Right.
How they're undisciplined, they're reckless. They're going to get flagged for a bunch of those. And now Miami's on the move again. You can't, going down 17-0 here feels like rock bottom. Not rock bottom, but feels kind of insurmountable against this Indiana team who's dominating you right now.
Yeah, if they go up again, it's wraps. What does Jason Taylor coach for Miami? I'm asking ChatGPT because Jason Taylor's on the sideline with a headset. Is he? He's a Hall of Famer. He doesn't need to coach.
So they do it for the love of the game, man. Like
he's a defensive line coach.
Aaron Glenn doesn't need to coach whatsoever. But I remember when he got hired, they were talking about how his wife was pushing him to go back because she saw like he just wasn't the same. Like he missed it so much.
Yeah, I remember that too.
The game.
No, hey, listen, the thing is, and I'm glad I wasn't like that. I love football. I love watching it. I love talking about it. But that shit hurt. Like, I'm not going to hold you. You got to lift a lot of weights and you got to take a lot of hits and you got to be in pain a lot. So I'm glad I wasn't in love with it to the point where some of these guys, like AG's wife said he was always yelling at the TV. And she said to him, like, if you're going to be in here yelling at the TV, why don't you just go coach? And so, like, Jason Taylor right now, he's a Hall of Fame NFL player, made millions. He could be home chilling. His son plays for the Jets. He's a defensive line coach and pass game coordinator or pass rush coordinator. Why? Go home.
Why not?
What are you doing?
You talked about the appeals of Miami earlier.
Yeah. Hey, whatever. It's a job, right? I'm sure he's getting paid for it. He's traveling with the team. Look at him right there on screen. He's fired up. He's looking like Rob Saleh.
He does look like Rob Saleh.
He looks like Rob Saleh.
Where's Rob Saleh going to land? You think he gets a head coach job?
No.
Next time around, probably? Like next offseason, if he continues?
I don't know. That stain of the Jets is hard to wipe away. He deserves an opportunity to be a head coach again because nobody can coach under Woody. I just don't know who's going to give it to him. I mean, I know there's so many openings, but there's a lot of talented coaches out there. Brian Flores or Mike McCarthy to the Steelers, not Rob Saleh. But the Steelers don't miss, you know? Like the Steelers hire one coach and he stays. I don't think they're going to hire Rob Saleh. They're going to hire somebody that they're going to ride with, that they know is a good coach, that has done it before and done it. I mean, I know Brian Flores hasn't done it successfully, but he has done it. He had more success than Rob Saleh, and same with Mike McCarthy.
I would say probably not Mike McCarthy to the Steelers then, if you're talking about a coach who has done it after that.
I just was reading something about how Mike McCarthy grew up in Pittsburgh, how his dad owned a bar in Pittsburgh. He was raised, a fan, and there's some ties there. Mike McCarthy beat the Steelers in the Super Bowl. Like, we'll see. The Rooneys, they also could pull somebody. Like when they pulled Tomlin, he was a defensive coordinator of the Vikings. It was like a bold move. So they could pull somebody that's like coming up the ranks that they're like, this is our guy. This is who we're going to trust. Flores was there.
All right.
Say that again.
Flores is the Vikings DC right now, right?
Yep. And Flores was their DC 3 years ago. So he's been in the building.
Yeah. That could happen.
Hey, these guys invented the Rooney Rule. They're gonna hire another black coach. They're gonna put a brother in power. They're gonna put a brother in the spot. Brian Flores, especially with him challenging the NFL, especially with him suing the league right now. The Rooney family would be the ones to say, "Come on down, come with us."
You got to jump on it. Kirk Signetti to the Bills. I mean, he's definitely turning.
No, did you guys not hear him say? He said he found out a long time. He said, "I made a decision a long time ago. I'm a college guy."
Yeah.
He said he's not going to the NFL. He signed an 8-year, $93 million deal with Indiana. They're going to build a statue for him after this game. He said, "I'm not an NFL guy. I made that decision a long time ago. I've always been a college football guy." And he has. Like, there's such a big difference. And sorry to cut you off. There's such a big difference between coaching kids and coaching like millionaire grown men.
No way. After what Belichick's done at North Carolina, I know he's a legendary NFL.
Nobody is hiring him. Nobody's hiring Belichick.
And especially for the Steelers, we're just talking about how they're going to hire a coach that's in it for the long run. How many years does Belichick have left? Like, he's 70 plus years old. I know you wouldn't be able to tell that based on the age of his girlfriend, but
well done. I'm too old to date his girlfriend. He's wilding. I wouldn't even be checking for his 24, 25-year-old girlfriend, bro.
There's no way he comes back to the NFL. Even in like a front office role, I can't see it happening.
No, I don't think anybody will take that chance on him. For what? There's the game passes you by quickly, and there's just other guys out there. So
yeah, these college players are millionaires, but they're not grown men who have the stature of NFL players. Like, these NFL players know who they are and know like what their standing is in the league and how many fans they have and everyone that's lined up. The college guys aren't, I don't want to say aware of that yet, but they haven't built their brand, their profile yet to be in that ranking.
I just think like right now there's so many openings in the NFL. Like, who's going to coach the Bills? Brian Dable?
I think that would be real interesting. Another guy who's been in the building before, like we talk about Flores and the Steelers.
They might as well just elevate Joe Brady.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of maybe you elevate Joe Brady, bring Daboll in as the offensive coordinator, something like that. Whatever. We talked about it a little bit with Jeff Hafley. I think for the Dolphins, they're going to restart, probably bring in a new quarterback, change up everything. That's what a new regime is going to want to do. They need to get their guy. And so the question is going to be, is Hafley going to be able to develop a quarterback? Are they going to be able to, as Miami breaks a big one, that's a touchdown on the ground. The Finns back in the game.
Wow.
Oh, sorry. Big time touchdown. We're talking about Miami, the Dolphins.
Yeah, they're playing in the Dolphin Stadium. Wow, that just flipped the game. Mark Fletcher Jr., 57-yard run.
That's
Hold
huge.
on, folks. We got a different game now. We got a different looking feel to this game now.
Suddenly, Mike Irvin loosens up the belt again.
Yeah, he's just one notch on the belt, one knot on the belt. Just got loose.
Well, with Hafley, I you could kind of see it coming that Eric Sullivan was going to go back to the Packers after he came over from the Pack squad. But I don't know. I still think the Dolphins are going to be irrelevant regardless this offseason.
Who's playing quarterback? Quinn Ewers? If it's Quinn Ewers, then yeah, they're not doing a damn thing.
Yeah, no. I want to get into some of the baseball, Keith. I've been teasing the chat with it all night. I mean, big week. Kyle Tucker off the board. A lot of stuff going on with Cody Bellinger. Bo Bichette to the Mets. Stolen from the grasp of the Philadelphia Phillies. What are your thoughts with the Yankees right now, though?
The Yankees telegraphed their whole offseason, right? We want Cody Bellinger, no one else. We're not really in on Kyle Tucker. We don't see Bo Bichette as a shortstop. We're not going to, we never said anything to Tatsuya Imai. We weren't going to pay Michael King that. The Yankees telegraphed their whole offseason. And guess who got that message? Scott Boras. He said, okay, you want my client. You don't want anybody else. Well, we want 37 million a year for 7 years. Oh, no, well, we're thinking more like 150, 160. We'll give you 30. We can give you a signing bonus. We can give you some opt-outs, but like, we're not going to go that high. Okay, well, we'll go as long as we have to go until somebody swoops in and gets us closer to that deal. That's your final offer? Yeah, that's your final offer. So now all the stuff that you're hearing is like Cody Bellinger should have been done already. He wants to be a Yankee. His dad played for the Yankees. He had a resurgent year last year with the Yankees, a bounce back year. But I'll say this as a Yankee fan, they didn't win anything with him. What did he do in the postseason? Did he do anything in the postseason that made you say, wow, man, Cody Bellinger, prime time? And we thought he would. He played well against the Mets this year. He played well against the Cubs this year. He played well, like 4 different positions, but not for that much money, bro. You're like, and also he's going to be 31 years old this season. You can't run that man a 7-year deal. You can't run that man a 6-year deal. 5 years. That's it. And if you want to be a Yankee, sign the deal and come chase championships with Judge and Cole and Giancarlo Stanton. Other than that, bro, like, go on. If you want to sign with the Anaheim Angels, or really now they're playing in the waters of the Mets or Blue Jays swooping in, because those guys, the Blue Jays have the money, right? The Blue Jays could give him a long-term deal. The Mets can give him a short-term deal with that. You want $37 million? We can give it to you for 4 years. So now they're swimming in those waters, and the Yankees have come out and said they don't want a bidding war. So they're cooked. They're going to go with Spencer Jones and Jason Dominguez, and maybe they sign Harrison Bader or go get Austin Hayes, whatever. And their whole running back idea for the offseason is super mid, bro. There's no Yankee fans excited about this. There are no Yankee fans calling up the ticket office saying, we can't wait to go to spring training. We can't wait to come to opening day. The whole thing that the Yankees, like, this is the New York Yankees, the whole thing that the Yankees are supposed to do is go bring in stars. Every offseason, add another star. They haven't added anybody. Paul Blackburn, Ahmed Rosario, Ryan Yarbrough. Please.
I don't understand how you're the third wild card team. You barely sneak into the dance and you decide, yeah, let's run it back, but let's lose talent. Let's give 22.5 to Trent Grisham. We're not gonna meet Cody Bellinger's needs, but we're gonna overpay like crazy for Trent Grisham. The one argument I'll make for why the Yankees might not be bad is because your pitching might be good. I mean, Garrett Cole's coming back at some point. Max Fried looked awesome in his first year in pinstripes. Carlos Rodon took a step forward. I know he had a tough first 2 years in the Bronx, but he looked a little bit better last year. Cam Schlittler came onto the scene in the playoffs. I mean, what if Luis Gil can get back to what he was doing? And honestly, with Gil, what if you move him to the bullpen and then Ryan Weathers is your 5th starter? I know it's not going to be that way on opening day or for the first couple months because Cole will still be out and Carlos Rodon is going to miss a bunch of time. But your end game lineup, Garrett Cole, Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, Cam Schlittler, Ryan Weathers. Your closer is David Bednar, and then you have Luis Gil as the setup guy. That doesn't seem half bad to me. Now, the problem is, how do you bridge that gap from the starter to the setup guy and the rest of the bullpen? I mean, no more Luke Weaver. I know he had a bad last year in New York. I'm really hoping he can turn it around for the Mets. But it's like you weren't good enough to do it last year. What part of your offseason makes you think you're going to be able to come back and be better than you were in 25?
And here comes the Fighting Hoosiers of Bloomington, Indiana. Listen, the Yankees have this thing that I call Yankee arrogance. They live in their own world. They don't live in the world that we live in. They are so arrogant. They just believe their own lies. They believe their own thoughts. They believe their own ways of doing things, right? They think they're better than they are. They fall asleep at night telling themselves, we won just as many games as the Toronto Blue Jays. It was a tiebreaker. They went to 7 games against the Dodgers. That could have been us. You know, they go to sleep at night telling themselves that, hey, we blew a lot of games behind Devin Williams, Luke Weaver, playing DJ LeMahieu, playing Jazz out of position, playing Yorbit Vivas, playing Oswald Peraza, playing Jose Reyes at third base. We did it to ourselves. We'll be better with Garrett Cole. We'll be better this year. So I think that they live in this like state of delusion that they're still the almighty New York Yankees, and they go to sleep at night being content. Not winning championships, but making excuses for why they didn't get it done. So,
yeah, I don't know. don't think the Yankees are going to be there. And
No, they will. That's the thing too. They have Aaron Judge. They have like they win every year. They're going to be competitive. And you know what they're going to do? That like they're going to beat up on maybe not the Orioles, but like you saw how at the end of the year they had the Orioles, the White Sox, the Twins. They had the light schedule to kind of make a run where they were winning every day and getting it close. Like they played terrible in June, terrible in July. Oh no, Surratt. That's an incompletion, bro.
let me see. I'm pulling up the end of year schedule for the Yanks right now. Let's see how it works. But I'll correct myself. The Yankees are going to be there. They'll be right around the wild card. They'll be right in the mix for the AL East. They won't be good enough to finish it.
No, they never are. Like that, they're going to be good enough to come close, and make the postseason. But I mean, Aaron Judge's elbow was messed up. He's one throw away from being out again. So, like, you know what I'm saying? We don't know when Cole is coming back. They better go ahead and trade for Freddie Peralta. Oh, how did I forget? They brought in Ryan Weathers. They did add to the team. What am I saying? Ryan Weathers is on this team.
On the team now, yeah. That's gonna do everything.
What? You guys aren't familiar with Ryan Weathers? That's it. That's gonna move the needle.
3.9 career ERA, and he's been riddled with injuries.
Yeah, go buy your tickets for the first series against the Miami Marlins. You won't see Ryan Weathers, but like maybe Ryan Weathers being added to this team makes you want to go spend some money.
I mean, yeah, going back to the week schedule into the end of the year, it's to end the season. It's Baltimore, Tampa Bay, Arizona, Minnesota, New York, Colorado. That's your September. So it's not the hardest thing. It's also, I would say there's some tests there, but again, they're going to be in the area. They're not, the Yankees will always be there because they have to be like that. The Major League Baseball needs the Yankees in the mix. They're such a big brand. The New York market is ridiculous. So New York will be there. Remember, 848-305-8073. If you want to get on the line, we had a good call earlier. You could call up, banter with Keith and I. We could go back and forth a couple times. Let's get back to the chat for a little bit. And New York sports is a joke, and the Yankees are the biggest joke. I hold the Yankees to a higher standard. You have to, because they were the Yankees and they were the evil empire. But so much of that is gone. They aren't the evil empire anymore. This iteration of the Yankees hasn't won since 2009. I wasn't conscious the last time the Yankees won the World Series. So you can't hold them to that anymore because they're not. And it's the same thing with the Giants.
Sad.
Fans are, we're the New York Giants. We had Lawrence Taylor and Michael Strahan and all these guys. You haven't done anything in a decade or more. You can't hold them to that. I worry about the lineup when they're agreed. Agree. Nothing shows they will be better. No Bellinger is a step back. Even with Cole coming back, absolutely. You need more. It's got to be equilibrium. You take back and you add at the same time. And the Yankees aren't doing that right now. Which New York team has the best chance of winning the next championship? Honestly, it's the Yankees and Mets still, because it's baseball and luck can play a role. I still do think it's the Knicks. They're set up now with Leon Rose. Jalen Brunson still has a couple years. They just have to retool, reset, if you will, and reattack it. This was the year for them, though. Giants, as crazy as it is to say they can make a jump with Dart and the right coaches, the NFL, the Knicks not happening. I don't know. I think the Giants, it's going to be a couple of years. I think they can be competitive this year if everything falls into place and everything works out. Super Bowl is still years down the line, though. The current Yankee team should not be the second choice to win the World Series next year. Absolutely not. They shouldn't be the favorites to win their own division, let alone the World Series.
They're always going to be the favorites, like betting favorites. And I mean, every year they're the betting favorites in the American League. This is what it's all fake. It's none of it's real, man. It sucks as a Yankee fan. It's like, you know, they're not winning anything, bro. But we'll get all excited and we'll go to the postseason. I've been at every postseason game for years, bro. You get excited for it, but you ultimately know they don't have the hitting. They're gonna go cold. Their bats are gonna go cold. This is gonna suck.
AL East is no joke, though. They don't fear the Yankees. Yeah, no, the Blue Jays came into your spot in October and just walked all over you. I mean, who did the Yankees put on the mound? It was either game 3 or 4 of that series. I'm forgetting it now, but the Blue Jays just dominated. It was no chance. It was no series for the Yankees to get back into it. Sadly, the best chance to win a title is the Liberty side, but true.
But like let's take a step back. Like I watched those games. The thing is, right? If the Yankees win one more game, don't get swept by the Marlins. And if you win one more game, you don't end up in the situation you end up where you got to face Garrett Crochet and you got to come back and win 2 games in your building in the wild card. Then you got to turn around that weekend and go to Toronto, go up to Canada, go through customs and play 2 weekend games, where in those 2 weekend games, you light the game on fire because you treat them like regular season games. It's the first to 3. So you smoke 2 games behind Paul Blackburn as your long man and Will Warren as your garbage man. Like, you can't do that. So, like, they were cooked after they lost those 2 games. I remember I was on the Fan that Sunday night. I didn't even want to do the show, but, you know, it was like postseason time, and they're like, hey, can you do this show Sunday night after the game? I'm like, nah. Like, because I didn't believe, but I remember saying, I don't think anyone in baseball is good enough to beat the Blue Jays 3 times in a row. It won't be the Yankees. It won't be the Yankees. And then even that game 3 where Judge hit the ball off the foul pole, I was there. It was amazing. They were down in that game.
All right.
Then a bullpen game on your turf to save your season. A bullpen game against all guys in the bullpen who you have seen through these last 3 games. They had nothing. Ryan McMahon hit a solo shot. So, yeah, they're frauds, bro. They're consistent. They're consistently fraudulent. Fraudulent activity. Scam likely.
They always are. I mean, you know, as a Met fan, it's nice to watch. My favorite day of the year. My favorite couple days of the year.
The Mets.
Days. Philadelphia Eagle Elimination Day. New York Yankees Elimination Day. You walk.
Did you say the Mets?
Yankee Elimination Day. You walk into school. You see the kids who are Yankee fans. It's doom and despair. Their heads down, hoodie up. Those are the great days, you know.
That's you guys on a random Wednesday in May. That's the Met fan on any day from March to October. That's you guys on the regular. Like, that's you guys in June.
The one year the Mets were actually in it, the Yankees just had to go to the World Series, and I couldn't get even a day where it was like, all right, the Mets went further than the Yankees. But you know well that the Mets would have beaten the Yankees in that 24 World Series.
I don't know that.
100%.
I don't know that. I don't know that.
100%.
I can't agree with that at all. I don't know that. We never saw. You guys didn't get there. I know that you had a 9-0, 8-0 ass whooping by the Dodgers. I know I saw Shohei Ohtani hit a ball at Citi Field. That shit went super far. I was like, oh my God. He unloaded on one. Like, it's funny because that year, you're right. That was the OMG Grimace year. That was the Make It Happen Mets. That was the Playoff Pumpkin. That was the Rally Pimp.
Devin Williams. Everything was that year.
And and I remember people dancing in the streets at Citi Field after you beat the Phillies and couldn't get it done. And all in all, the Yankees end up hosting 3 games in the World Series. So in New York, and you guys were done.
That was a nice one to watch.
And then you don't make the postseason next year.
Back to this football game. On a higher note, Indiana's got it around midfield now. They still lead 10-7, a little bit over halfway gone by in this third quarter. And the Canes defense gets off the field. They force a 4th and 12. So Indiana's going to have to punt, and Carson Beck's going to get another chance out on offense. This game's not done. This is going to be a good finish coming down. Catch it, dude. That was contested. I'm not going to put that one on him. 848-305-8073, the number to join up here. Call in. Let's see. Yeah. Miami will get it back. They'll be deep in their own territory. Tony backpedaling, catches it at the 5, dances, prances, taken down at around the 7. That was PI. I think it was more PI than a ball that should have been caught. For you Brooklyn Nets fans, It's oh, game's done now. I think. Are they showing highlights? Can't tell. I don't have my eye on it.
The game is definitely done.
Game done. Yeah, I was gonna say it's 10:05. The scoreboard stuck. It looked like it was stuck.
They lost 126-117.
And had that one on in the corner of my eyes. You could tell I wasn't paying that much attention to it. Nets Knicks this week. I mean, that's got to be the least. What do you think is the worst New York rivalry? Nets Knicks or Jets Giants? Do you think it's Jets Giants just because they don't play each other at all? Like I feel like the Nets Knicks doesn't have any juice ever.
Probably like Devils Islanders.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like Knicks Nets only had juice when Knicks fans were salty about Katie and Kyrie choosing the Nets, and the Nets were beating them over and over and over again. Now this is the time, if there ever was a time, Wednesday night in the Garden, for the Nets to rise up and end the Knicks' current winning streak. Because I don't know the last time the Nets won. I think the Knicks flipped it. I think the Nets had won like 8 in a row, and I think the Knicks might be at 8 in a row or 7 in a row. So what I'll say is this: like Yegor Zolman didn't play tonight, Cam Thomas didn't play tonight, Day'Ron Sharp didn't play tonight. I don't know. The Nets were down a few guys tonight. Not saying that they would have beat the Suns anyway, but maybe they are resting guys and gearing up for this battle where if Michael Porter Jr. is cooking and Nick Claxton and Noah Clowney are doing their thing, and we'll see what Cam Thomas does. Cam Thomas got a little bit of a thing for the Garden. I think stay tuned. The Nets could beat the Knicks because the Knicks just lose 9 out of 10. Everybody hating on Karl Anthony Towns again.
Last 12, I know.
So, all right, I'm posting something, so I got to mute because I'm trying to pick a good track.
All right, we'll go full screen then over here. Still watching the Natty College Football National Championship. We've hit on a lot so far. We got the baseball talk in. Maybe we'll circle around a little bit more of that. We definitely did the basketball conversation. A lot of NFL as well. According to Land of Basketball, Nets won 9 in a row. Then the Knicks have won the next. Oh, yeah, that was after Nick Claxton said, yeah, personally, I've never lost to the Knicks in my career. And then Katie and Kyrie left. And then the rest was history. Knicks have just dominated the matchup since then. But the Knicks got to keep it going, man. They've got to get back to what they were doing. They got to get back to being the team we saw in December. I mean, I don't understand how a season turns on its heels so quickly. And like after the NBA Cup, I was expecting a little bit of a drop off because the Knicks were playing such good basketball and everything they did was working. I was convinced they were just throwing stuff out there and was like, everything else was working. This probably will too. And then reality came crashing down and Tyler Kolek's not playing as well. Kevin McCullough isn't touching the court. I don't understand why Mo Diawara hasn't played like at all. I know he started the other day, but after he started, he played for like a couple minutes and then was out of there for the rest of the game. So some of the rotations seem off to me, but we'll see. It's the NBA. It's a long season. And I'm sure the Knicks will get it right at some point. The one thing I'll say for the Knicks, though, is that this was the narrative all of last year, that the offense was stagnant and they wouldn't be good enough once they got to playoff time, and then the Knicks were. Right now, the Knicks are in a lot worse of a stretch, losing, 9 out of 12 games. But once the playoffs come around, can Brunson turn it on? He's a gamer. Can everyone get it going the right way as the Indiana defense gets off the field? Miami's drive stalls out. 3 and out, I believe. And Indiana, is going to get it back with solid field position, I think. Because Indiana's Miami, I'm getting confused here. Miami's punting from around their own 15 is the line of scrimmage. Let me see. Ben, real talk. How'd you get started with this? Where'd your passion come from? What do you do at your school that promotes this knowledge? All right, I love this question because I think I have somewhat of an interesting story, and I'll bring Keith in because he's a huge part of my story so far. So I went to a sports broadcasting. Oh man, that's a block. Touchdown, Indiana. Blocked punt turns into 6 going the other way.
I'm here. I'm listening, and I'm watching on my phone.
That's a huge touchdown, man.
Hey, they find a way. All 3 facets of the game.
Oh yeah, it's everything. The special teams is so underrated also. But let me get back to this comment. How did I get started with this? So I went to a sports broadcasting camp at Montclair State University. It's the sports broadcasting camp is the name of it. Prior to my 8th grade year, it was the summer going into 8th grade. And I always kind of thought about broadcasting would be cool because, athletically, I peaked in 7th grade. So I kind of realized that wasn't going to be the path for me. But listen, sports was always going to be it for me one way or another. I just grew up around it. Like a lot of kids had their phases playing with dinosaurs and superheroes. It wasn't like that for me. It was straight to sports. And a lot of it was because the games were on in my house constantly. And I just grew up watching baseball, basketball, football. It didn't matter. I had my eyes on it. So I went to that camp and it really enlightened me. That camp was so much fun. I went with 2 of my buddies and we heard from just like ridiculous voices. It was Kenny Albert, Mike Francesa was there. Ian Eagle goes every year. Just like the top guys, flagship in the industry. One year I heard from Gary Cohen, Mike Breen, just the top guys. And that really sparked my interest. So me and the guys I went with are like, all right, let's start a podcast. If we're going to do this, this is really the way it's going to happen. We recorded 1 episode and then it stalled out, as many podcasts do. So then it got to October and I was like, all right, we're not going to record again. Let me start my own thing because if I want to do this, this is how it's going to happen. So I created this sports pod. I started recording in my bedroom. It was audio only. I had a crummy mic. The first episode, I had no mic, actually. The second one and beyond, I had a mic, though. You could go listen back to those. Let's just say we came a long way since then. But that was 8th grade. 8th grade, I really ran it up. I was doing recaps on every single Knicks game. I would record the game because I was in 8th grade. I was going to bed before the game ended. I was still playing basketball and stuff at this point, so I wasn't able to watch every game. So I would come home from school. I would watch the taped Knicks game. I would write down notes on the game, what I thought happened, and what I liked, what I didn't like, whatever. Then I would go run the podcast. I would record that, and I would post it. I have probably my first 80 or so episodes are all just Knicks versus Nets recap. Knicks versus Pacers recap. And that was it. And then we got to the spring and the Knicks were eliminated from the playoffs. And I was like, okay, where do I go from here? Because I can't sit here twice a week, 3 times a week, talking about what the Knicks are going to do all season long. And like, naturally, the next is baseball. Like, I'm a huge baseball fan. Over that summer, I really wasn't consistent whatsoever. But I went to the camp again, had another really good time. And then that summer, no, I was still doing audio only that summer. But once I got back to school, at this point, I'm a freshman in high school. I fired a comment on one of Keith's Instagram posts. I was like, yo, I'm a big fan of yours. I would really appreciate if you could come on the podcast. And Keith, as he does with a ton of kids, he goes on all their podcasts. And that was the first episode I actually did on video. So what's funny about it is the computer I had at the time, it was like a little Chromebook and it couldn't run Zoom. So typically I would record in my bedroom, but the Chromebook I had wasn't able to record the episode because I couldn't use Zoom. So I had to use like my family's like desktop computer in the kitchen to do that episode, which really wasn't in the normal setting. I'm sure the audio wasn't as good as it typically is. But that was the first time I recorded with Keith. First of now 3 times. This is the 3rd time. So I did that episode. It was an NBA preview, maybe late September, early October. Then I just kept working, kept doing all sports. I got into the NBA at that point. The NBA, NFL, MLB. I was recording on everything at this point, right? So I keep working. And then in December, actually, let me start earlier than that. Probably in November, my dad was like, yo, you should reach out to Keith, see if he needs any help with anything, see if you could be his intern. I'm like, it's kind of weird. I'm just a freshman. If someone else is going to do it, they're going to be older and more experienced than me. So I held off on that. And then Keith posted it in the middle of December. like, yo, I'm looking for some extra hands to help me out and stuff like that. I was like, all right, this is the sign. I've got to do it now. So I fired off the DM saying, this is, I would love to work intern for you, whatever. Keith emailed me like a week or two later saying, what's up, man? Like, I would love to bring you on. And Keith can speak a little bit more to what I did for him and what his goal was for me. But basically what I did is I created a one sheet with all the headlines from the day. And I did that. Funny enough, next 1 week from today, it would have been 2 years of doing it daily.
Wow. I just said, I was like, I know you've done it for over a year. I mean, I don't have any shows on WFAN for you to do it for, but you even did it for my fill-in show. I think I don't know how many times I told you, like,
I'm on the Odyssey app.
I don't know how many times I told you, bro, take a week off, take vacation. Don't worry about it. But you're committed and you're persistent. And I could tell that about you right away. So like, let me like pat Ben on the back, because there are a lot of kids that reach out to me and I can tell right away they're not really passionate about it. They're not really about it. Like I could tell that they just like, you know how many kids ask me if like they could join my podcast or call into the show or be on stream or let's.
All right, I'm back. So I'll finish telling my story as Keith re-enters, and we'll bring him back up here. Keith, go ahead, finish.
Okay, hopefully you got me. But what I was saying was I could tell your persistence. I could tell your passion. I could tell you were serious about it just by your approach and the way that you went about it. And there's so many kids that I could tell like they don't know how to follow up. They don't know how to send emails. They don't know how to do the little things that'll get you in the door. And that stops most of the conversation. So, I was laughing now, even with your stories about you clipping up the games, whatever. I'm like, this is the type of kid that I saw. I'm not surprised that that's the type of work ethic you had. And I always try to give back. I always try to pay it forward. And I said this the other night on my stream, with social media and with being able to DM somebody and comment for us to be able to see, like you can get to someone like me that you've seen on TV and heard on the radio. I wish it was that easy to get in touch with people that I admired or that I listened to or that I watched. Now, like, sorry, I posted this watch party that I'm doing, and now my phone is blowing up with people. What's up with this watch party? What's up? I'm like, whatever. But like, kudos to Ben, because I've watched his podcast evolve, as he just told you about the Zoom and whatnot. I've watched just, him do stuff at school, like just being, a guy with the microphone asking questions. He's shown up to Fanatics Fest. He's shown up to WFAN. And what I feel like is he is just creating a runway for himself to take off when he goes to college, even further when he gets out of college, because he's got this like library now of content and more importantly, reps. You need to get reps young. You need to get experience saying, hi, I'm Ben Ballion. You need to get experience talking about the teams and the players and pronouncing their names and reading box scores and go like it all kind of sharpens your sword. So I just tell as many young people as I can to go for it. And if I can help you, if I can give you some game, if I can lend my audience to you and give you some time, then of course I will.
Yeah, I'll continue finishing this, but for third quarter is about to be done. Miami's inside the 5-yard line, threatening to score a touchdown. But then after I linked up with Keith. I kept going on the podcast. At that point, I was doing video because the first time Keith came on my show, one of the things I always ask when I have a guest on, the end of the show is always like, do you have any advice for me? Like, what can I continue to do to keep growing this? And he was like, get video going. Like, so much of the podcast game now is video. You got to be on YouTube and everything like that. So I got that going. I got like a little webcam, and I was, again, up in my bedroom. It was a crummy mic. The webcam was all right. But I was doing that, and then I ran that up. And then that summer, I hit Fanatics Fest. Fanatics Fest was like an eye-opening experience for me. That was the first year they had it in New York. And it was so much fun. Actually, I missed a piece because that May you did come on my show again, I think.
I know I did your podcast more than once.
It was a playoff. So we did NBA season preview and then NBA playoff preview.
Okay.
Little MLB, because that was the Mets were off to like a crummy start. I think that was the year. Yeah, that was 24. It was like a week or two into the season. Yeah, that was definitely my freshman year. So we did that. The NBA playoffs, I remember I did a bunch for. I was doing like pregame live stream shows. And then over that summer was the first year they did Fanatics Fest. So I went to that, and that was awesome. I talked to so many people. I mean, I talked to Sal, BT, John Boy, just like everyone who was there. I was talking to. That was the first time we met in person.
Fanatics Fest is amazing.
Yeah,
Not to cut you off, but it's just like all of us in one place, but even bigger than that. It's like Stephen A. Smith is walking around, like Tom Brady's. It's just amazing to see all of that under one roof. And if you're smart and you bring your camera and you get content out of it, it's well worth it.
Yeah. So then that first weekend, the first year Fanatics Fest is when I set up this studio. Because no. That was the second Fanatics Fest. After that, I got home, and then that whole year I was just working. I was doing the podcast. It was all that. And then the next year of Fanatics Fest was after my freshman year, going into my sophomore year. Right? I don't know. I feel like something's getting screwed up in this.
You're young. Your memory's supposed to be sharp. I can't remember what I did last year.
I know the timing just seems off. I know you came on my show freshman year, and then
you have to search. You have to look up your, go look into the back end of your YouTube and see when I pulled up.
Look back at. I know after this, it was definitely after the second year Fanatics Fest was when I started this studio, because that weekend I bought a camera. No, it was the year before. It was after the first Fanatics Fest. I think I set up this studio. Because I had just gotten the camera to go out and film content at Fanatics Fest. And I was like, all right, this camera's a little overkill for the setup I have now. This is like an unused office in my house. I have all this memorabilia. I can't really move the camera, but I have 2 bookcases full of like books and hats. And I have an OMG sign back there. Obviously I have the MLB neon in here. I'll set this up. Why not take advantage of it? No one's using it. And then my sophomore year, I really ran it up to the point where it was taking away from school. Which don't do that. But I was posting so much as Indiana punches in for 6. We're going to finish up this story a little bit quicker now. And then after last year, Fanatics Fest was when I did the stuff out. My first Man on the Street content was at the Knicks game, game 4 against the Celtics playoff game. I went out, I did Man on the Street, talking to Knicks fans, just like, yo, what do you think about this game? What's going to happen the rest of this playoffs? And that was a lot of fun. Me and my dad went out and filmed that. And then Fanatics Fest was awesome. I had like a poster. I was like, give me your hot take. There were times where I had like crowds of people just surrounding me, ready to go next. Let's run it. And just filming for hours on end every day. And then that's pretty much where we are here. We're going to BT Style live on Thursday. We're going to do some more interviews out there, and then we'll be at Bleecker Trading Saturday.
Awesome, man. Run it up, bro. Obviously school first, but shout out to your pops, man. What I'll say is like having a dad that supports you, a mom that supports you, parents that support your like passion and hobby is clutch, because you don't have to worry about paying rent. You don't have to worry about going to work. You don't have to worry about like grown up stuff. You can be a kid. And if you're a kid that likes sports and likes creating content, you can dive into that in all of your free time. Like you come home from school, if your homework's done, you can work on stuff. On the weekends, you can work on stuff. You can go to BT and Sal. You can go to Bleecker. You can put yourself into these spaces where you need to be. And just got to give a shout out to your dad, because I know your dad watches. I know your dad supports. I know your dad brought you to WFAN, to Bleecker Trading. Not all of us have that. Not all of us have that grown man that's like, I got you. Like, buying you stuff, driving you places. Like, that is a huge help. So make sure you dap your pops up and you give him a big hug every time, because like he's helping you. Like he is part of your production crew. He's
texting me throughout the stream. Keep mentioning the phone numbers, push the callers, leave the number on the screen, push the number. And this last, it's enough in all caps with three exclamation points. I guess that was a little bit too long. And that's storytelling. Here he is in the chat. Always gonna take his roses. But here we are in Miami. 3-point game as we start the fourth quarter. It's shaping up for an exciting finish. To think the Canes are still chasing those 3 points they blew. Hope it doesn't come to bite them. Yeah, That was a field goal he definitely could have made too, and just doinked it.
Yeah, I need more points. I was saying they're gonna double the spread. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, no.
I see Indiana winning, but I don't see them winning by 15, 16, 17 like I was talking before this game. So Miami in their home building, like there's something to be said about these kids. They're playing at the crib. They're standing up to Indiana right now, and Indiana looks pretty human. They look pretty pedestrian after steamrolling Oregon. They need something here. They need a big run. Honestly, Mendoza as the Heisman Trophy winner, number 1 overall pick.
Done anything?
Let me see if I can pull up his stats right now. I can't tell you one big play or throw that I really remember.
Here we go. This brings it back to my.
He's 12 for 20
passing yards. Yeah. 12 for 20, 116, no touchdowns, no interceptions. It's average.
Keep giving it to Kalen Black. These JMU boys doing it. They kept talking about how Mendoza had more touchdown passes than incompletions. That's not the case anymore. Give credit to Miami's secondary, Miami's pass rush. They've disrupted him a little bit tonight. He's thrown some incompletions, but obviously he's trying to make plays. He's trying to make it happen. Right now, it being in the fourth quarter, they have 2 bell cows at running back. They're going to run the ball. And when they got to throw it, they're going to throw it, but they're going to run the ball. See, that ball is late. That ball is late.
And he's got to get it to the outside more.
Mendoza's not looking...
He's looking very human tonight.
Yeah, and this is going to change some of the narratives around him. Like, bro, you're playing against Miami. They got the dogs out there. They got some fast guys out there in the secondary. Like, that ball is late. I know it's tough, but it's like, bro, if you're catching that ball and you're going to do the zone read, there's no reason to hold that fake that long. Get the ball out.
Right.
These guys are closing in.
That first drive, he might have got
get upfield. Oh yeah, there it is.
That's a nice gain.
But see, those are easy plays to throw the ball as a quarterback, bro. He's throwing a little bubble screen. He's throwing a little tunnel screen. He's throwing a 5-yard hitch off his own read. Like they are not asking him to sit in the pocket and read downfield and make throws downfield right now. They're running the ball and they're going quick game. I don't mind it though. It must be because they know he's got a little bit of nerves. I mean, I got a ton of respect for that kid. He grew up in Miami. He was a Miami Hurricanes fan. I'm sure he wanted to go play at Miami, and it didn't happen. Now he's playing against them, and he's got the opportunity here to be a freaking legend. Come on, kid. Come on, kid. Make one big throw, one big play.
Again, just into guys, man. The Miami pass rush is tremendous, though.
Yeah, they got NFL guys up there. They got they got all guys that are going to be playing in the NFL.
And that's how they've gotten here. It's going to be how they continue.
But Indiana's offensive line is tough.
That was going to be, coming into the game, the battle of the trenches was going to be the deciding factor for me. And right now, it's pretty even, as we have a pretty even game.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't feel good about this right now. 2nd and 9. Let's see what they do, because if it's all Mendoza, he's got to make a throw. He's got to make a statement. Bro, they're running the ball. He's got to make a statement, throw, or play that's like, I'm the Heisman Trophy winner. I'm the number 1 pick. I'm going to make a play that's going to change this game right now.
I know the Heisman is done, but it's like you got to have your Heisman moment again. And playing at Hard Rock, playing in Miami's home stadium, the longer you let these guys linger around and stay in the game and they keep believing and their belief just keeps going, their morale increases, it's asking for disaster.
Yeah, and it's a 3-point game. So, like, it's anybody's game. They're getting fired up. They're starting to believe as the time is expiring and Indiana's has a low scoring game like this. They feel like they're getting closer to victory. Oh, goodness gracious. He had him, but there was some type of miscommunication where he put the ball and where the receiver was looking for it.
Yeah. That's a touchdown if he grabs it too. He
dropped it on the inside.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Oh, that ball's nowhere near where it needs to be. That's on Mendoza.
Man, Keith, my narrative. here we go. He dominated Kennesaw State and Old Dominion. His defense won him the game against Oregon with all those takeaways.
Do you have the version of StreamYard where it makes the AI generated clips for you after the stream? I think sometimes when it's too long like this, it won't generate the clips. But you should clip your take if it, that take you had about Mendoza facing. I was talking about him facing Indiana State and Kennesaw State, but they got stronger. Right now, they're not looking so almighty. They're not looking big and bad.
Got my 1 week free trial StreamYard going. So
that's what you're using right now. I've done it. I've done it with like 3 different emails. I've done that on Riverside. I'm
ridiculous.
That's probably why I can't. You're doing a free trial. That's probably why I can't simulcast it to my channel. But here's some more game for you. Every year, Black Friday, they do a deal. It's well worth it. I bought a year of StreamYard for like $250.
I've been using OBS recently.
Okay, yeah, OBS is free. It's just a little bit more of a lift. I need to actually look into OBS. Well, I don't need to now because I use StreamYard, but like I haven't used OBS since like 2019. I'm sure the most recent version of OBS is much more updated.
It's pretty user friendly from like the little work I've done with it.
Ray, we talked about Cody. I'm done with it too, bro. I'm done with the Yankees. I don't care. Like, well, I'm not done with the Yankees. Obviously, I'm gonna be at opening day and all that. But like, I'm done talking about the offseason and what they're gonna do. They telegraphed that they wanted Cody Bellinger, and Scott Boras knew that. So Scott Boras is like, I got you by the balls. I know what you guys want to pay for my client. I don't have to give in to that. We're gonna play the long game. We're gonna play the long game.
Right.
We're going to play the long game, and somebody is going to give us either the AAV we want, that's more than you, or the extra year we want, that's more than you, and we're going to take that deal.
Someone's going to do it, whether it's the Mets, it's the Blue Jays, maybe the Phillies, pivot from Bichette. I don't really think it'll be the Phillies, but someone's going to give him the money. That's just the way the MLB is going. And staying on that topic, you want to get into a little Dodger talk here, how they're breaking baseball and sending us into a lockout after this year. Because they can do what nobody else can. We were talking about this on your stream on what was it, Friday night, where they have access to the Guggenheim partners and the LA Sportsnet money, and they can market to all of Japan and Asia. Like, they have everything going for them, and no one can stop it.
I was on the radio in Philly on Saturday. I did a call with Shukri Wright. Shout out to Shukri, who went from Boston to Philly. He's just a radio hustler. He's able to continue to do sports talk radio. He knew who to call. He called the right guy because we started off talking about Bo Bichette and how the Mets stole Bo Bichette from the Phillies, but then of course it went back to Kyle Tucker and kind of how the Dodgers stole Kyle Tucker from the Mets, where Steve Cohen was tweeting about "Let me know when you see smoke," thinking that hey, $50 million a year, we put out a good offer, we're going to get this guy or at least get a decision soon. And here come the Dodgers when we were thinking it could have been the Blue Jays. Now, when I say they had the right guy on the radio, my hatred for the Dodgers, being at Game 5 of the World Series and watching the Yankees absolutely melt and then the Dodgers celebrate and win the World Series on our field, I started to hate everything about them. Is that ball caught? That ball is behind him, but I believe it's caught. All right, see, Mendoza's like, yes, I know. Mendoza is reverting back to being the one-star recruit, but hey, count it. It's there. Receiver bailed him out, made him play.
The Miami corner had him going downfield. He had to throw a back shoulder.
That's a back shoulder throw, but that's a risky back shoulder throw. Right. That ball is another inch or two away from skipping out of bounds. But here, let's watch this here before I go in on the Dodgers. I know everything about the deferred Dodgers.
I know. I want to lay you up.
Yeah, I am the guy to talk to about it because I asked ChatGPT about all these different things. Like, I can go back in my ChatGPT history right now. Like, how much revenue do the Dodgers make from Japan? Well, it's not public, but they talk about how like there's these Japanese tours specifically for Dodgers games the last 2 years that they've gone to the World Series. A recent economic impact analysis estimated that during the 2025 postseason, the economic impact tied to the Dodgers' 3 Japanese stars was about $885 million. And that came from tours from Japan to attend games. People from Japan are handing the LA tourism and Dodgers like money because they're coming to see Roki Sasaki, Yamamoto, and Shohei Ohtani in the postseason. There's tourism and travel packages, right? They have a Dodgers focused travel package, and the industry travel report noted up to 200 Japanese tourists per home game. Like
Factor in 81 of those. That's what, 1,600?
per home game. That place is packed. They have the number one attendance in baseball. I've been there. I've been for a while. This was the first year I actually passed it. For a while, I used to say on WFAN, I've been to Dodger Stadium more than I've been to Citi Field. That was no cap. That was no lie, because I went out there the first year I went to Coachella. I went out there in 2019 for all 3 of the Yankees games. Then I went out there for the All-Star weekend, which was like Futures game, Home Run Derby, All-Star game. Like, I'd been in Dodger Stadium like 7 times. I mean, I could go on, but like even the TV deal, right? Now, think about it. If you can't afford to get to LA as a Japanese fan, you're still going to turn the TV on and watch Shohei Ohtani every game. There's a ton of money that comes in to Major League Baseball through the MLB international TV rights, but the Dodgers have a one-of-one deal, which used to be through Time Warner Cable, but now it's Sportsnet LA. Their TV deal, right? Dodgers TV deal through McCourt family divorce. Like, because of their former owners, right before the Guggenheim partners and Magic Johnson and all of them came in, they have a one-on-one TV deal that nobody else has in baseball. What happened here? Did they have to kick a field goal?
Looks like it.
4th and 5? No, they're running a play here. It's 4th and 5. They're running a play here. This is going to decide.
You go up 6.
They might be trying to call, make them jump off sides. No, they're running a play here. This is ballsy. Oh, now it's Mendoza. That's his moment. Touchdown.
Wow, what a run.
That's his moment.
Oh, my God.
Mendoza.
Diving, getting hit from 15 angles. That's a Heisman moment, Keith. Your quarterback draw. I didn't have that on my radar there.
Tough. I love that shit right there, boy. Hopefully he didn't break his back. Tough. Hell yeah. Let's go.
10-point game now, 9:18 to go.
Covering that 7.5 point spread, covering that 8.5 point spread. But yeah, so, the Dodgers also have Shohei Ohtani, where like Shohei Ohtani, it's so stupid. Shohei Ohtani is a DH and he's also a starting pitcher. So that let him hit the market as a DH and starting pitcher to be paid as such. $700 million for 10 years with $680 million deferred, so that last $20 million, he makes $2 million a year because he makes $125 million in endorsements off the field. Nobody is even close to that. Nobody makes half of that. Judge doesn't make half of that. Mookie Betts doesn't make half of that. Fernando Tatis doesn't make. Juan Soto doesn't make half of that as far as like their endorsements. Shohei Ohtani is a one-of-one player. We may never see another one. And then he's got a one-of-one contract where him going to the Dodgers and supposedly gave the Anaheim Angels the opportunity to take on the same contract, and they said no. I don't believe that. But like Shohei Ohtani being so rich from Japan, where I was on Philly radio. I'm like, they have Shohei Ohtani cereal. They have Shohei Ohtani cat food. They have Shohei Ohtani toothpaste. Like, I'm not even joking. There was a video of them going into like a convenience store, and it was like Shohei Ohtani's face, his name, image, and likeness was on everything in the store. And I'm like, what the like, yo, that's insane. But like, okay, he's a cash cow.
All of sports by so much. Like,
he doesn't need to survive off the
Right.
$2 million. If Ipe never went to jail, he would have been given that $2 million to Ipe to gamble. He doesn't need the money from the Dodgers. He's making. He's got to deal with New Balance. Let me see. Does ChatGPT? How much is Ohtani's deal with New Balance? $10 million.
That's not bad.
10 million a year. So, you know what I'm saying? So, like, this guy has enabled the Dodgers to go get everybody. Go get Tyler Glasnow. Go get Blake Snell. Go get Roki Sasaki. Yamamoto doesn't have any deferred money. Yamamoto said, run me my money right away. $325? Run me my money. If you want me to come over there and bring my MVP prowess from Japan to you, run me all that. And you know what his boy said? I got you, bro. I got you, bro. I'm only going to take $2 million. And like, there was a report that the Dodgers made the $700 million that they're going to owe Ohtani. They made it back. And that's where the Guggenheim partners come in, because this, like, I was listening to Tiki Barber talk about it. Tiki Barber's like, they deal with $350 billion of assets and money. Like, this little baseball money that we're talking about, this isn't big math for them. This is simple math for them. They got that money. They got that money tucked away. They got Shohei Ohtani's man. Because I hate when people are like, oh, they're going to pay for this down the road. No, they're not. No, they're not.
The only way they pay for it is if there's some kind of cap or limit instituted and they don't have the funds to spend those years.
They already paid for it. So
no, I'm not saying because they don't have the money. I'm saying
no. I know what you're saying. I'm going somewhere else with this. They went to back-to-back World Series and won them. It's paid for. The Yankees went to one World Series, hosted 3 games, and lost. They made an estimated $110 million off of that postseason run. What do you think the Dodgers have made the last 2 years off of back-to-back postseason runs to the championship, 2 parades, merchandise, parties, ticket sales for the next year? They are making money in a way like we've never seen.
But what good does having that money do you if there's no, like, you can't spend it because there's some kind of cap? And that contract is eating up a lot of your cap. And I get what you're saying. Like, you're saying, like, screw it. We're going to win a bunch of championships now. We have the best player potentially ever in the sport of baseball. But, like, that's the only way they pay for it. If there's some kind of limit to the spending later on down the line, which I don't see the players agreeing to, which is why I don't have a fix for Major League Baseball right now. It feels like there's no solution.
No, there will be a solution. They're going to lock out, though, and I don't know how long it's going to take, because I remember 2021, it took a minute. The players absolutely do not want a salary cap. The owners do, though.
100%.
Uh-oh, baby Jesus, Malachi Tony trying to get loose.
Young Joker Jr.
No relation, I don't believe, any relation to Kadarius. But yeah. Somebody said, AJ said baseball loves this. Rob Manfred loves this. Because he wants to be the commissioner that installs a salary cap. That's historic. That's forever. Like baseball, that was the whole thing about baseball. And that's why I hate people talking about the Yankees. Oh, the Yankees used to do this. No, they didn't. The Yankees had some of the same energy as far as like,
we're going to go get everyone.
We're going to go get like what pisses me off is like the Dodgers just won back-to-back World Series, and their 2 weaknesses, they needed another outfielder and they needed a closer. You know, like they could get by with Andy Pajes. And I forget that guy that you know, he let the ball be trapped in center field. That center fielder they had. They're playing Kike Hernandez in the outfield. Like they had Michael Conforto this year. They needed an outfielder and a closer, and you went and gave them the 2 best options on the market. What? Like they needed a closer, they get Edwin Diaz. They need an outfielder, they get Kyle Tucker.
And Kyle
What a joke.
Tucker is projected to hit 5th in that lineup.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Kyle Tucker is going to hit 5th in any lineup entering free agency. That's ridiculous, dude.
And so this is a problem for baseball because like you see the face I'm making where I'm like I'm making that face because I'm like, who is beating them? And if fans feel like nobody can beat them and it's already like, then it's that the competitive balance factor, the like if people feel like it's already a fait accompli, it's not good for the sport. You want parity in the sport. Pick that off. Oh, no, incomplete.
Wow. That would have been a game like saving play. 'Cause that was way downfield. Oh yeah, he fumbled with it. Didn't survive the ground, as they say. But yeah, man, the Dodgers, it's too much with them. Like baseball is a sport where you can just run up the spending and have no limit to it. But I feel like that was some of the beauty of it because like teams were like, this has never happened like this before. And like you mentioned with the Yankees, like deferred contracts weren't a thing back then. Like that's just not how they rolled.
I mean, they were, right? You're a Met fan and Bobby Bonilla day comes, but it never like this. Never like this. Never like this. Shohei Ohtani set the precedent. He set the trend. Tommy Edman doesn't need to have deferred money.
No.
They could pay Tommy Edman straight up, but he'll take some deferred money to help the team because you're going to, and that's another thing. You're going to beautiful, sunny California, Chavez Ravine. Like, I don't rock with Ohtani because he never gave the Yankees the time of day. Even when he signed with the Angels, he did not give the Yankees the opportunity to sign. He didn't want to be in New York. It's a closer flight home from LA, and the weather is way better. He did not want to be in New York. He was shook in New York. Wow. Okay, Carson Beck, dialing it up.
First down, Miami. What, 15-20 on that one? So they got to hurry up, though. 7:45, you need 2 possessions. You're going to need a stop. Like a turnover, probably. Here we go. Beck looking to pass over the middle. It's complete. That's Malachi Tony still on his feet down to the 25. Malachi Tony finally wrestles to the ground. That's exactly what the Canes needed right there. Over the middle, just a little crossing slant route. Good blocking also for Miami.
So I woke the baby up when I yelled for Mendoza's touchdown. My son was sleeping and he heard me celebrate Mendoza's touchdown. My wife texted me, Jack is up.
Uh-oh. Beck nearly picked off there. Deflected pass from his own receiver. 2nd and 10, 6:45 remain. Miami trying to pull within 3. Keep the game alive. You just got to extend the game here. Can't overdo it for anything. Little Mr.
No.
Here it is. Tony. Oh, he's got.
No.
Wow, he broke it.
Yeah.
Touchdown, Miami. We're not done yet, folks. We're not done yet. Still a game. That was quick, too. 2 big-time plays from Malachi Tony. Big extra point.
But Indiana's just going to run the ball and eat this clock.
3 timeouts for Miami, though. They still got time.
Yeah.
6:37 is a long time to run down. You need one stop. One stop, and you're right back in it. Man, it could be tied. I keep going back to that missed field goal at the end of the first half. Could be 24 all right here. See how we feeling. We've gone through a lot. I feel like we've gone through, touched on pretty much everything that's happened today. NFL, we did a lot of NFL early on.
I'm working. It's funny. I'm talking to someone from the Brooklyn Nets right now. Shout out to Brian from McClune's who was in here earlier. I just saw your email. Can't really let those details out of the bag, but I just posted my flyer for the watch party I'm doing in Jersey City on Sunday. I am also still looking for more things to throw in about the Dodgers and what they could do. It's like, if you want to, like right now, they're the Warriors, right? When KD joined the Warriors, like can't beat them, join them. If you want to make money, live in a nice place, and play on a super team, why wouldn't you join the Dodgers? When you weigh everything, right? Like not every guy is like, oh, I want to be a part of the team that beats the Dodgers. Like a lot of these guys are like Edwin Diaz. They'll give me the most money, and I know we'll win. I'm out. Not going back to the Mets. Even though you made your name with the Mets, like no, like I don't think we're gonna win. So, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to the Dodgers. I know we're gonna win. I know we're going to the postseason, and I know I'm gonna make the most money.
I mean, you can't blame these guys for taking top dollar. It's just so frustrating. Because especially with a guy like Kyle Tucker, Steve Cohen did his job. He offered, what was it? Whatever it was. $55 million a year, $50 million a year, which should be plenty, which should be enough to bring in a guy like Tucker. I don't know. I don't think he's worth $60 million a year, but the Dodgers have the money and they're going to spend it. So, and that's that. You can't blame him for taking Tucker. That's the end of the story. How do you get a picture in here in Streamer? I'm trying to get your flyer up.
I could do it.
I'm lost right now. I'm not big in the streaming game, I sit here, I record my
Okay, so if you look at the bottom, it's down there, unnamed PNG. I think you have to put it up. So AFC Championship, Patriots versus Broncos, Bergen Hall, hosted by Keith McPherson. That's me. NFC Championship, Rams versus Seahawks, Sunday, January 25th, 3 to 9 p.m., 58 Maple Street, Jersey City, NJ. So that's the Bergen Lafayette area of Jersey City. And you could take the light rail out there. It's very easy to get to from the Turnpike. And there'll be wings, cold beers, nachos. The sound will be on during the game. And during the commercials, I'll probably jump on the mic, kick some freestyles, welcome everybody in, do some MC type stuff. And this is the first of what I hope to be a ongoing relationship with this bar and the folks that own this bar in this area. Obviously we're late on the football season, but no better time than the last 2 games of the season, and then next thing you know, it's baseball season, or it's NBA playoffs, or it's March Madness. I'm working, folks. Thanks for showing that.
And you had the graphic for the stream tonight on your stream last night. On Friday, I had to do the same thing, and you put out a nice video earlier today, hyping up this stream. So
hey, man, it's what you're supposed to do, man. It's what you're supposed to do, man. Like, I say a lot of stuff and I back it up, right? When I talk about trying to help other people, when I talk about collabing and not competing, and like, the same energy that I'm going to put out there for Ford or Poland Spring or super.com or whatever, I keep the same energy. So the same way that, I would do a promo for a brand working with me, same way I'm going to do a promo for Ben Valiant Stream.
Back to the
about to be like 5 minutes left. Yeah, 3rd and 4 here.
They got to get
see.
this right here.
They got to convert, and I don't know. They got to convert. I wouldn't want to punt them the ball right now.
No.
I watched them beat Ole Miss. First down, good play call.
Yeah, it's a good play. Wide open with so much room to run. That's what you need. See,
Good play design. Using the motion.
Tons of blocking. Yeah, they had that jet sweep turned into a blocker. Not a jet
Using the
sweep.
motion to get a guy free in space. Veteran.
Signetti effect.
He's seen a lot. He's done a lot. He knows what to do. He's not phased. Mendoza, take him down the field, get another field goal or a touchdown and end this bad boy.
Touchdown here. Field goal doesn't end it.
Well, depending on how much time is on the clock here, you'll settle for that field goal to make it not a field goal game.
Yeah, you'll settle for the field goal. Touchdown, pretty much.
If you kick a field goal and give them the ball back with a minute,
3 timeouts. It's not over, but
it's not over. But you take take it and hope your defense can pin them down.
Right. Tick 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 tick. Just keep the
Tick
clock
tick. Under 4 minutes now, folks.
Yeah, it goes quick when it gets like this. See, this is the time. If we hype up Miami's pass rush all day long, there it is. Tackle
They
for
get
loss.
home.
Tackle for loss. Immediately on the ball. So I was saying we hype up this Miami pass rush, their rush defense. This is the time they got to do it right now. Game on the line, national championship on the line. No better time to prove it than now. Another big 3rd down. Yep. If it's 4th and 1,
I'm like, is he checking the play here because he feels like they're gonna blitz? I don't think they're blitzing. They're not. They rush 4. They rush 3. Got it, man. Yeah, hell yeah.
That's the same play they had earlier. That back shoulder.
Just a back shoulder. He's on you. Just don't throw it downfield. I can't race him, but I can go up and beat him for the ball.
Right. That's same receiver, same everything. Mendoza, another big time play. Clock keeps running. 2 3rd down conversions on this drive. That was a better throw than the last one.
Yeah, this is Raps. They're
They're
too well oiled of a machine, in my opinion, to not go do what they have to do here to go 16-0. And look at this. Get off me, little boy. First down. Tick, 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 tick. Now we're about to hit that 2-minute warning, folks.
2-minute warning. Yeah. Miami's going to have to start burning their timeouts. This is probably it.
Yeah, this is Raps.
MLB this show. I think the funniest one I saw was the All-Star game should just be the Dodgers against everyone else. That's what it's gonna be for the NL. It's gonna be Dodgers at every position.
All-Star game is in Philly this year. That's gonna be fun.
That's gonna we gotta do an interview about that.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun. I'm driving right down there. I might drive there and back. I would have to stay down there.
That'll be good, yeah.
Philly's great. I missed the last couple All-Star games because my son was born. Texas and Atlanta.
Yeah.
My first year my son was born, I went to Seattle, and I wasn't planning on going.
You're like resurfacing all those interviews that you were doing down there.
Yeah, put them on my YouTube channel. I was like, yo, because they were on my other YouTube channel. I'm like, nah, bringing them over to this one. You know, in 2023, I wasn't thinking about YouTube. Man, in 2023, I wasn't thinking about a lot of stuff that I'm thinking about now. You learn and you grow and you evolve, dude. When I came into the radio, I thought the radio would just do everything for me. I thought the radio was just market me and book me, and I would just blow up off the radio. You got to work, bro. You got to do your own stuff. Like, you get to the platform of the radio, cool. But like, what do you do with that platform? You better build off other platforms, and I did. I grew my following, my connections, started doing more appearances. Now I'm booking multiple things. Like I'll be on the Fan Friday night. I'll do my show Friday after Celtics Nets, probably 10:30 to 2. I'll go home, snooze for a little bit, wake up, probably just go right to Bleecker Trading. I'll probably have to help with my son or whatever. And I'll probably go to Bleecker Trading when he goes to nap around like 12, 1. Just probably chug a Red Bull, rock Bleecker Trading, go home to beat the snow or whatever. Hopefully it doesn't snow too crazy. And then Sunday, go host this watch party for these games and just keep it rolling, man. And in between, be doing lives and content and putting videos out and answering emails and getting on Zoom calls. Like what I would say now, and it's funny because this is something I'm going to talk about at Bleecker Trading. It's hard to ignore the haters, but I've finally got to the point where I'm ignoring them. They don't matter. Like, the people hating are not the people creating. The people that are creating are not the people hating. And that's a good little rhyme there. Like, why would you be hating on somebody if you know the struggle, if you know the grind, if you know the work it takes to do this type of stuff? You don't hate on the next man. The people hating are the ones that can't do what we do. Ignore them. Ignore them. Ignore them. They come with the territory. The bigger you get, the bigger your pool of haters is going to be. And they don't stop anything. They're not stopping me now. I got people laughing like, you got fired? Okay. I got people laughing like, what are you going to do without being on the radio? Okay. just chill. Just give me a couple minutes, bro. Just watch. Like, what do you think I'm doing since I'm not doing radio shows? You think I'm playing Xbox all day? I'm not. You guys think I'm home I'm home collecting Pokemon cards? Like, I'm grinding, bro. I'm working in the quiet. This is the silent time, right? My moves aren't loud right now. But then little by little, you can be like, yo, what's he doing? He's doing an event. He's doing a watch party. He's popping them. Oh, he's back on the face. Yo, this guy is not chilling. Speaking of a guy not chilling, I told you they got 2 bell cows running the ball. It don't matter. They like, that's how you win. Like, either Keelan Black, my boy from JMU, or Roman Hemby. Those guys right now. Roman Hemby's got 60 yards. Keelan Black's got 78 yards. They're just
got to go to the timeouts. Here we go. This is it.
Ain't got no time left. He ain't got the time.
This is gonna be vintage KM 10:30 to 2 on a Friday night after some Nets basketball.
Oh, it's gonna hit different. It's gonna hit different. It's gonna turn back the clock, bro.
I know the last two, like Saturday, it's like whatever. That's not where you made it.
The last 2 shows I did a bridge show.
Right. Yeah. It was the bridge show, and then it was like a Saturday afternoon.
50-minute bridge show, and then I did like a 3-hour Saturday show. But like, now I'm about to get back into my pocket. Now I'm about to get back into Friday. I don't even have no raps ready. I might have to get back to the raps for a Freestyle Friday. I might have to hit them with some AFC championship, NFC championship bars. And obviously we'll talk baseball. We'll talk about the coaching carousel, coaching hires. We'll probably talk Knicks, Nets, more so Knicks. We'll see. Hopefully the Nets knock them off, so I'll have that. And we'll kill the Friday night easily, bro. We'll kill that time. It'll be like a little 3.5 hour show. What's the score? It's 24-21.
21.
But I think they're about to score a touchdown here for spread purposes and end it.
Yeah. Here we go. We need.
Was it a false start?
Back them up. Keep the game running. Clock stops. What does it make it now? Second and what?
I think it was maybe 9.
Mendoza, back to you. You got to make a play. But really what it's been been the two running
Second and
backs
6.
doing what they have to do. And then when Mendoza has to make a play, that Heisman comes out and he makes the throw.
Yeah, the throws have been there enough, and that run is a signature moment.
No. Again, third and medium. So you got to stop here. You call a timeout. And then you're left with no timeouts. There's going to be time if they could get the stop here.
I know. It's going to be crazy. We're not done yet. I can't call what's going to happen.
No.
If they can stop them here and they have to kick that field goal to make it 27-21, Miami will get the ball with enough time. And they got baby Jesus. I'm getting the ball into Malachi Tony's hands and trying to get him in the open field.
That's how they beat Ole Miss. It was the pass rush and it was Tony went crazy in that fourth quarter.
Make a play.
He's a freshman too, I think, right?
Is your brother trolling in the chat? Chase is like, "What's the score? Who's up? What is he trolling?
Yeah.
Or he got to go to bed, or what's the deal? He don't know what. He don't know.
I'm thinking it is. He probably had to put his phone away for the night.
11 o'clock. Had to put the phone away. But how's he on? He's on a MacBook. He's on an iPad.
I don't know what he has, honestly. He's got
All right,
two.
here we go. Convert this 3rd and 5.
They're 2 for 2 on third down on this drive. Here we go. I think they get the stop.
AJ is early.
Yeah, he's way early.
Damn.
Got it. Ran into a brick wall.
All right, I'm kicking this field goal and I'm playing defense.
You can't go for it here.
No, you kick the field goal and you play defense.
1:47, no timeouts is what it's going to be for Carson Beck. Man, it all goes back. Well, it's not going to matter at this point. I was going to say if he made that field goal, it would have been tied. Then you only need the field goal to win.
Yeah, and we've seen them do this before, man. We've seen them go and beat Ole Miss. So
it's just everyone's rallying to the ball. Got to make this kick. $35 yards out. It'll be from the left hash, I believe. No, dead center.
And these are college kids, so it's not a lock.
No,
he kicked that right down the middle. It was a lock.
Yeah, they didn't even put the net up that time. 1:42.
That's too much time.
Too much time. Carson Beck in his 15th year of college football has a chance to go down the field and win a national championship. He's had to sit out a national championship before. It only took him half his career to get back here. AJ Bianco, here we go. They might fake this field goal and go for the kill shot. Too risky in the Natty. Hasn't been a turnover tonight. 15th year of CFB. There he is warming up on the sideline. Transferred in for Hannah Cavender. Obviously, that didn't work out. Now he's got a chance to.
Yeah, it worked out for him. I'm sure he's got plenty of chicks, and he's in the national championship. So, yeah, shout out to her. Her sister dates Ferg from the Dallas Cowboys. Jake Ferguson. Yeah. Like, they're not even all that. They're just fine and famous, and definitely rich.
Of course.
Carson Beck. They said Carson Beck went to Miami, started to get some love from the Latinas. He wasn't feeling her no more. I understand. Boss. Yeah, he ain't running it in. What I'm afraid of is Malachi Tony.
Yeah, that's who I would be.
Because if you get him in the open field, he can boogie, bro. He can make up a lot of ground fast. And if I'm Kurt Signetti and IU, I'm telling these kids, wrap them up, tackle.
Yeah,
you have to tackle these guys, bro. You have to tackle these guys, bro.
From
I
the
know you're
25.
tired. I know you're tired. Bring your arms and bring your legs. Bring them to the ground. You gotta tackle.
Pre-snap, delay of game. Are you kidding me? How do you do that? Cristobal's fired up. There's so much red in Hard
Yeah,
Rock Stadium for
Yeah,
this.
it's packed. I have two friends that are Indiana alumni, and they immediately were like, "We're going," and like they're both like rich Jewish guys that like they didn't care what it costs. Oh, what is he doing?
What is that?
What the hell? They're gonna consider it a forward pass, but that's some risky
Yeah.
business, Mr. Beck. Some risky business, Becky.
I guess you get out of a sack, but that's too much of a risk to take. That's Josh Allen-esque. Second and 15 now. From the Miami 20, minute 36. Tony goes in motion. Beck's going to look to pass. Fires to the middle. Incomplete. Not a good throw.
Beck is down.
Not a good throw. And Beck is down. Flag on the play, though. Is it going to be roughing? Yeah. Resets to first down. You go from 3rd and 20 to 1st and 10 because of a penalty. That's exactly the opposite of what Indiana needed. That wasn't a bad one. I feel like they call that whenever they want. Like they can call it on so many plays, but they can also like let it go so many times. Whenever they want to change the momentum of a game, they'll call a roughing the passer.
Yeah, it sucks.
Now from the 35.
Check down.
Beck checks it
the
down.
first.
First down. Miami's on the move. They're not dead yet. Gonna keep fighting. Keep punching. Here we go. Quickly to the line. Minute 25 remain. Clock starts again. Here comes the pass rush. Beck stands in the pocket. Fires over the middle. It's complete. Malachi Tony. What a grab. Not enough for the first down, so the clock stays on. Just to prevent defense. They're so deep in the secondary. You can't let the big play happen here. You also can't live with all these checkdowns. Quickly to the outside. That's a first down for the Miami in plus territory now. Quickly to the outside. These quick hitters.
This could be epic.
Quick hitters are working for the Canes.
They got plenty of time.
Timeout, Indiana. Final timeout of the game. If you're Cristobal, what's your strategy here?
I'm still surprised Malachi Tony hasn't had the ball.
He's got it once, but yeah.
Like I'm going to that kid in the open field every time.
Michael Irvin. See, let me pull up. I had the video up earlier of here it is. You got to get it ready. The Michael Irvin. Too much with him, by the way. Did you see where he got up in front of the cameramen and stuff after that Ole Miss game? Like,
Yeah, I didn't like that.
it's too much. You can't do that. Like, it's fine
I
if
didn't
you're
like
on the sideline and no one else is around there.
Like I don't like Miami. Growing up a Florida State fan, of course you hate Miami, but they just carry this like elitist arrogance that they're better than other people, that they're the you, and like Mario Cristobal embodies all of that. He was mad at the lady from, I don't even know what was it, Verbo, whoever sponsored the last bowl game. He was mad that she was on stage presenting the trophies. Like, can I get some of my players up here? It's like, bro, she works. She's like an executive for the company. Like,
Uh-oh. Beck looking to pass. Fires way
Picked.
downfield. Picked off. Picked off
Game.
to end the national championship. Wow. Bad throw from Beck. Well underthrown. Fernando Mendoza does it. There's a flag. Who's this flag going to be? Indiana's still celebrating. And Carson Beck looks like it's going to be on him. Or Miami, but.
It's it's on the celebration. Excessive celebration. I don't have the sound on.
Doesn't matter, though. I think that's what it was. Something like that.
Yeah, after the play for taking the helmet off.
One kneel and it's over. Indiana. Did anyone call that coming into the year?
No one called it coming into the year.
No one. No one.
Incredible year, incredible movie, incredible story.
Really good game, too.
Never forget this year. Like, bro, they barely beat Penn State. They beat Penn State by a foot. Like, Ohio State should have beat them in the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah. Everything. Bad throw. I mean, he threw it into double coverage, and it wasn't a good throw.
Game.
And goes under center, drops to a knee. That's it. Game over.
I think it's a 2 second difference. But it's over.
They're gonna call it though. They're not gonna let it ride out. Keith, thanks for coming on tonight. This was a lot of fun.
Yo, you're the man, Ben. We'll do this again. I got to take it down. I woke the baby up, but I was glad I could give you some time here. I gave you 3 hours, man. I gave you 3 hours on the live stream. Hopefully, this does some numbers for you. And when I'm famous one day, you can come back to the national championship night and say, what are they doing, bro? See, they're on some stupid stuff. The game is over. What are you doing? But yeah, when I'm famous one day, you can come back to the stream and be like, yo, I did a live stream with Keith when Miami won the national championship. All right, everybody be good, man. See you soon. I'm out of here. Later.
All right, Keith. All right, I appreciate everyone tuning in. Indiana, your national champs. And for now, I'm Ben Ballion. Make sure you go check out all my socials, Instagram at @thesportspod_Ben, TikTok at @the.sports.pod. Make sure you keep it locked with this YouTube channel. Again, leave me voicemails at 848-305-8073 that I'll react to in my podcast. But for now, make sure you keep it locked with the Sports Pod.